Peep this out. All right, so I saw somebody had posted something. I guess they were analyzing the debate me and a young lady named Dulcinea had about did Indians participate in the United States before 1924. So it's going to be interesting what this guy is actually trying to say. I think some of you guys might be familiar with these groups. Some of you might not. Those that kind of follow the streams we go to when we're talking about or debating these topics dealing with indigenous people, Africans, slavery, and all the other stuff. So I'm going to show you this, but first we got to take our stroll down social media Ave. So let's get this going right here. We're going to start with our first promotion, like this business. I see a business. I'm going to put it up here and I'm promoting. So let's go. Hold on. Let me do it this way. Stop screen. Let me share the whole screen. Boom. Window. Bang. All right, here we go.
Came here to visit. Let's walk around real quick. We picked up some nice products here.
A lot of people have been asking about the concentrated perfume oils. You can use this for your lotions, candles, and for your body.
Good shop on quality products here.
Yes, I've been using the Fibroid Cyst Buster Powder for like 2 months now, and it's been helping with my bloatness.
Everything you want right here. All right, come check it out. New York City in the house. Straight out of New York City here. We came here to visit. Let's walk around real quick. We picked up some nice products here.
A lot of people have been
the sword just for the sake of the sword being sharp. I don't sit here and wait for the war to get started. You prepare for war in times of peace. Denzel Washington told me that. Sharp, I swear.
So if somebody comes to the gym and they come in a brown bag and they got 50K, they say, hey bro, one-on-one.
Tell them to keep their money and burn their ass up for free.
Nah, you gotta get the money, B.
Who gotta get the money?
You.
Why?
Because they challenging you.
I will when you put the cameras on, but when we getting better for the sake of getting better, now we just men doing what men do. You know, iron can only sharpen iron, right? Nigga, just come in here and bring your heart. I don't give a fuck about your money. We men. The females love the money. Sharpen the sword just for the sake of the sword.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, I like that brother right there. Yeah, we're going to hold on this guy. We're going to move him down the line. It's crazy, man. Crazy.
Woman athlete so good that white competitors were literally afraid to play against her. Meet Ora Washington, the greatest female athlete you've probably never heard of. In the 1920s and 30s, Ora dominated not just one sport, but 2. She won 8 tennis championships and never lost a single match to another black woman player, ever. White tennis officials were so threatened by her skill that they banned her from their tournaments, even though she was clearly the best player in America. But tennis wasn't enough for Ora. Standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, she also played basketball for the Philadelphia Tribunes. Her team won 11 championships in a row and had a 145-game winning streak. Ora herself scored over 1,000 points in just one season. She played with such power and aggression that people said she was too masculine for a woman. But Ora didn't care. She kept winning for nearly 20 years, retiring undefeated and largely forgotten by mainstream history. Please like, share, and subscribe for more videos about the history of Black achievements in the Americas. Did you know there was
Nah, not yet. Not yet. Now, people in Southern California know this lady, Chef Marilyn. Sister been around for a long time. And this right here is just absolutely insane. It's just insane, our people. Our people insane. And now, check this out.
Because I need everybody to know in Los Angeles, California, it is not safe.
These two young ladies walked into my life February 7th, this one at the fundraiser, told me that she wanted to help me. This one came out on the 9th, said that they wanted to help me. They promised that they would not abuse me, do anything wrong, disrespect me, and they did just the opposite. They made me an employee. They've taken everything that I own in here. I can't even get a meal out of here, and I built it.
They can do that.
They're doing it. Because they said they were coming in to help me.
I need help. I need financial help. I don't have a dime. I'm just trying to save.
They're lawyers, young lawyers.
I trusted them. I'm not a family owner. I started at 37 years ago.
And they said they're changing the name. They said they're changing the name. And if you call right now, they answer, best soul food in LA. I built this. I own every piece of equipment in there. And they think because I let somebody else take advantage of me, they're getting away? No.
Do you still have keys to your place?
I don't know if they changed the locks. I have not tried the lock.
Where your key you got? Huh? Let's go try your key. Yes.
They changed the locks.
Yeah, they changed.
Now, granted, Chef Marilyn, she's had that place right on Crenshaw, just south of Adams. She's had that place since the 70s, if I'm not mistaken, or the early 80s. That place, you could go in there and it's just like a smorgasbord. You just have a bunch of stuff. You just, you walk around and they had it's just soul food. Whatever you want, you pick and you get your plate. Now, yeah.
It's the locks. Yeah, they did.
Why are we doing this to each other? I don't deserve this. These women have not been here 2 months yet. Okay, they got a taste of what comes through daily. And my thing was my overhead with State Board of Equalization, with the roof falling and everything else. These people came in and they are clocking and taking all the money and will not pay me and will not even feed me. This is horrible. And now they changed the locks on the door. That they need to be arrested. This young lady right here, Sierra Carter, presented me with this card when she introduced herself to me with one of her clients. And she also informed me that she is the attorney for Cardi B and Mary J. Blige, and she works at this law firm. Okay. And then this is Channing Smith, another lawyer, and she works right here. And their companies need to know what these two young Black women have done to a Black icon in this city that's been here for 38 years. And, they both have mothers. How could they do this? If somebody did this to their mother, what would they say? What would they say? It's been a little over 6 weeks, not quite 2 months, and they've taken everything from me. Everything. Nobody's paid me for no equipment. Nobody paid me for any of this stuff. And they just taken everything from me. When I tried to get 2 plates of food just a few days ago, I was told by an employee that they've been instructed not to give me anything. I'm too mad to cry. Any other time I would be crying, but no, I'm ready to fight. Okay? I don't care how young they are or whatever.
Shame on you, ladies. Shame on you.
That's crazy. Ah, boy. That's crazy. Let's see what we got in here. Itchiness. What it do? What it do? What it do? Okay, you heard of her? All right. Oh yeah, they're not gonna last long. When I tell you they're not gonna last long, they are not gonna last long there. Believe me, they got a serious problem. One thing I know about South Central, they take care of their own business. So yeah, they don't need to call the police. Rude word. You keep up with that. Anyway, link gonna be in there pretty soon. Let's get through this first. Appreciate everybody being here. None of your business. All right. Let's get it. I think we can play this one now. This is crazy. Now, just brace yourself for this. I'm playing this to see what the men and women would say in regards to how he handled this situation. I'm going to reserve my response until it's done.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, I got a question for you. I just left our daughter's house, your daughter's house, and you know she's graduating, and she was telling me that she wanted, I guess her biological father just came back into her life or whatever the case after 17 years, and she wanted him to come to the graduation, but in order for that to happen, I have to give up my ticket, and she told me that you knew something about this.
Yeah, I didn't know something about it.
And
Is
so,
that a problem?
Yeah, it gets better.
You don't think it's a problem? Like after 17 years? Like you don't think that's a problem?
No, I don't think it's a problem at all. Because if she want her daddy back in her life, put her daddy back in her life.
So you want me, so after 17 years, this dude come around, look, he can be there. But y'all want me to give up my ticket to let him come. Don't I paid for that entire graduation? I got her first
you should respect. Okay, and we appreciate everything that you did. At the end of the day, it's still gonna be her daddy, and she wants her daddy to come back in her life. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Y'all trifling as hell, man. You mean to tell me so what's up with you and him? Y'all back together or something? Because it has to be something to it. Because ain't no man after 17 years, ain't no man just gonna pop back up and I want to be at your graduation now. Ain't no man do it. And what type of man is he?
What you mean? What type of man is he?
Listen,
he's trying to come back in his daughter's life.
Any type of man.
I don't see nothing wrong with that.
But y'all in cahoots with trying to get me to give up my ticket that I paid for?
Come on now, ain't nobody in cahoots. It's just that she want her daddy to see her daddy graduate. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, but you brought it to her. She told me you brought it to her. You brought it. You convinced her to do that.
Because we trying to build a family. We trying to build a family.
After 17 years.
We trying to build a family.
After 17
years. Yeah, after 17 years. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Man, y'all trifling as hell, man. Straight up. You know
what?
This is what I'm gonna do. Just like I told her, that apartment that I just got for her, I just went and pulled the lease off. I pulled the lease off of it. That graduation that I paid for, I'm finna go take all my money back. Matter of fact, I'm on my way there right now.
No, that's wrong. No, that's
it ain't wrong. So after 17 years, y'all kick me to the curb, and that ain't trifling? But I'm just supposed to give up my money. I'm supposed to give up my money. Okay. I've taken care of this girl for 17 years. Saw her through all her schools. Was at all her little milestones. I was the man there.
You don't think she appreciate that?
I mean, the damn show don't feel like it.
Everything you do. But so now you're gonna do that to her?
I'm taking all.
You gonna take everything from her?
I am.
You know that, and that's what you call trifling.
I am. Hey,
but you so-called want to be a daddy.
I don't.
But you want to be.
That's over with.
Man, none of your business. Business, that's messy. that you say it can't be real. Yeah, this can't be real, but that can't be real. That's messy. I mean, but you listen to to the sister talking like she's like a matter of fact on this. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I know about that. Yeah, give up your seat. Daddy coming up in here. And he got the seat. You, thank you very much for everything you've done. Appreciate it. But now, she don't want you there. She want her daddy there. Now, the brother was cool. I think he handled this pretty smooth. He said he could be there. I ain't got no problem with that. But I got to give up my seat. I paid for the graduation. I paid for the apartment. All the milestones that she got through, I was there. I contributed to everything. And you telling me I got to give up my seat? And you knew about this. And the instincts, right? This is how you know this is a real one right here. It's a real man. He's smiling. He ain't mad. He ain't getting extra out. He was like, oh, y'all back together? Hey, look, brother, the one thing you don't know, Lonnie, they been together. He been tapping that on the side. Money that you've been giving her, she been breaking him off. You got to understand about firstborns. And obviously, that's her only baby. Unless she had some children with him. Don't seem like she had any children with him. But even if she did or didn't, that's her firstborn. And that firstborn connection with that daddy ain't never going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say you got to be careful. Don't be sorry. Be careful. You know what I'm saying? I just say, under those circumstances, she handled it pretty cool, but I'm pretty sure she was still messing with him the whole time. Him coming back at 17, and that's the last part, and I'll press play so we can watch the end, is that he waited till she graduated to come back. That sounds pretty orchestrated to me, to where he did what he did, bring that nigga up in here, let him pay the bills. Remember that Captain Save him? Sound like Captain Save him, what E40 said. Let that nigga take care of your kids. Let that nigga call your kids his. That thing right there. E40. You want me to play it? I can play that too.
Man, come
That's over with.
That's over with.
Yeah, that's over.
So you want so you gonna be out of her life just like that?
I'm done.
Just because of the graduation? Are you serious?
No, she told me that you convinced her to do it, and she old enough.
And I did.
But she old enough. She old enough to.
Whoa! And she said, and I did. I don't think people would go live on Instagram or TikTok or any social media stream to air this out just for likes and subscribes and money. Would somebody do that? Stick their leg out there on the corner and shake it? You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. I don't know about that.
Make her own decision. So she came to me and told me she wanted to give up my ticket that I paid for to a man that hasn't been there for 17 years, right? And you don't want me to be at a graduation that I paid for? The money that I...
Young man, he been there. He been around. Yep, he been around. Maybe not in the daughter's life, but mama been around. Yeah.
Worked for, and I spent and paid for, and I got her first apartment, and I'm getting kicked to the curb. I'm the bad guy now.
Ain't nobody said you was getting kicked to the curb. They just said she want her daddy to come. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that.
You know what? Look, all y'all can go now, because I'm just gonna take everything back.
Wow.
And I'm gonna let y'all
So you doing that like...
That's how it is.
Nah,
that's you know.
You wrong for that.
I'll be wrong. I'll be wrong. I'll be wrong. Don't worry about it. Hey, look, I'll tell you what. I'm about to get off this phone. I want y'all to go have a happy family together because I'm out that shit.
Oh, you wrong.
Yeah, that's right. Sure right. Like I'm supposed to just stick around and let something like this go down, man. I've been there for 17 years. Man, I ain't trying to hear that crap, man. Straight up.
Hold on, man. Damn. These cats. All right. Look.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
I want to look at. He got a ring on his finger.
I took on. I was the man.
No ring. So they're not married. I mean, if you're married, you got a ring on the finger, some sort, something. But I think he got a watch on. He ain't got no ring. So, yeah, kind of, you volunteered your services, my brother. No ring on the finger. So that means she has no ring on the finger. I mean, hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's, wow, interesting. What would you do? I know what I would do.
Gardening, I will show you how to turn leftover veggies into fresh plants. Easiest way to grow an onion from an onion, just use the bottom part where the roots are. Put them in soil, make sure you got good fertilizer, water, and sun, and there you go, you got some onion.
Yeah, pretty much, isn't it? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. She wasn't married, not committed. What he wanted to do was, based on the fact that, probably loved the woman and everything, you know what I'm saying? He did that. And I mean, at the end of the day, your response is a good response. It's a good response. Hey, I'm taking my money back. Now, I think that if he would have stayed, if they wouldn't have took his seat and they would have said, okay, we're going to get you another ticket so you could get a seat or whatever, blah, 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 I think he would have been cool with it. Like, yeah, he could be there. That's cool. That's what it sounded like to me. But I think the fact that he said, yo, seat, homie, yeah, run that seat, get, and thank you. Yeah.
You see your potato growing some eyes and you let them in the pantry, don't throw them away. Actually go ahead and plant them and they will multiply. You can do the same thing with some sweet potatoes. This was my harvest of regular potatoes and sweet potatoes. Bringing garlic from a garlic is so easy, but I put it in water so I can go ahead and show you guys the experiment. You definitely put it in soil and it's...
Look, this right here, this is like perfect. Put it in water, all these different things that I've been putting up. It's like, man, all you got to do is you can actually take some of that crazy stuff that they do, be able to manipulate it, and be able to create your own fruits, vegetables, herbs, whatever you need without. And this is cloning 101. You don't need seeds. You don't need to do none of that. You can actually take these things, take the time. You got a backyard. You can actually get this done. You can get this done. Yeah.
It takes about 8 months to grow. Celery regrows because the base still has the growing center. Plant it in moist soil and new stalks will grow from the middle, not from the outside. And this took about maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm going to try to grow a pineapple from a pineapple. I heard you cut the top off.
Now I'm about to do this. See me, I'm a watermelon pineapple guy. Them two things, man, you win it.
And I know that I was seeing that you gotta remove some of these parts, so that's what I'm gonna do. And we're just gonna go ahead and plant it. It takes 1 year to 3 years just to get a fruit. And this was my first pineapple ever, and it was so sweet and good. So we are going to plant some sugar cane. This is where it will start sprouting. But you know, it needs to have a lot of water. So this is the sprout of.
Then you got the sugar cane. Look, watermelon, pineapple, sugar cane. That's a recipe for greatness. And then she actually showing how to get it done. That's wow.
The sugar cane. And
I went to Department of Agriculture. In California, you can grow anything. No problems. When they say anything, I said anything. She said anything.
And this was about a few months. It takes 12 months to grow. Growing romaine lettuce from romaine lettuce is so easy. Just chop it up, put it in water or soil, and this is your result within 3 to 4 days. Growing corn is so easy. Plant the kernels, water, and make sure they get sun. Once they are growing, help pollinate by brushing the tassels into the silk.
Nice. All right, so this is a remedy.
Of the chaparral, I'm going to take a teaspoon of comfrey, mix it in, and also take a teaspoon of the slippery elm. Once you've got equal parts, you want to pour in enough of the castor oil just to make a pudding-like consistency. I'm going to stir this up, and you just keep stirring it. Turn your spoon over like this. It should just slide off rather than dripping off. Once you've got that consistency, then you're ready to spread it across your paper towel. Now, the chaparral fights the cancer, while the comfrey will repair the skin if the tumor has done any damage to the skin. The comfrey will repair the skin rapidly. And the slippery elm, although it has much healing properties to it, we use it in this poultice just to bind the comfrey and the chaparral together. So you've got comfrey, chaparral, and slippery elm. And this works wonders for tumors and for cancer. So first, place this in the oven and place this directly over the tumor and bandage it down with tape just so that it will hold in place.
All right, I'm gonna play that again. I had to play it a couple times so I can get the understanding. Now, this is for external things, you know, things on your skin, you know, boils and things like that. So, you know, dealing with that issue.
So if I take a teaspoon of the chaparral, I'm going to take a teaspoon of comfrey, mix it in, and also take a teaspoon of the slippery elm. Once you've got equal parts, you want to pour in enough of the castor oil just to make a pudding-like consistency. I'm going to stir this up, and you just keep stirring it. Turn your spoon over like this. It should just slide off rather than dripping off. Once you've got that consistency, then you're ready to spread it across your paper towel. Now, the chaparral fights the cancer, while the comfrey will repair the skin if the tumor has done any damage to the skin. The comfrey will repair the skin rapidly. And the slippery elm, although it has much healing properties to it, we use it in this poultice just to bind the comfrey and the chaparral together. So you've got comfrey, chaparral, and slippery elm, and this works wonders for tumors. And
now, he's saying slippery elm, E-L-M, okay?
And for cancer. So first, place this in the oven and
so bake for 1 minute at 350. Make sure the oven is at 350 before you put it in. If you don't, you'll mess it up.
Place this directly over the tumor and bandage it down with tape.
All right.
Just so that.
So it's just like you put a bandage on. You like once it's there, boom, you put it on there. You leave it on, wrap it up, bandage everything, just like if you have any type of boil, whatever. Wrap that thing up, leave it there for 4 to 6 hours.
That it will hold in place.
All right. Let's go to this guy.
Hey, get in here. When I say there's a secret that the Smithsonian is literally hiding. Hey, you see this word right here? I'm not going to say it because they have pictures of 100 Indian chiefs. It's carpet color, right? And to get a clear view of what I'm saying, this is what the pictures look like. But I'm gonna show you just one Indian chief. And no, they don't show, and you can't touch them. They're in a private collection. They're worth billions of dollars because it holds the secrets of the Indian chiefs that are carpet color. Now, yes, we're talking about the Smithsonian Museum. Now, take a screenshot, right? And it's the last chief of the Tuskegee Indian, right? But look at the way they spelled the word Tuskegee. He's a chief, right? And it's in the Smithsonian Institute, right? But it's more to this picture than you realize. Now, this was crazy. Now, this explains all of his accomplishments as a chief. And he was a tribal interpreter, right, of the Muskogee Creek Nation. But not only that, he was born in Tuskegee Town, right? And he established in the 1st Indian Home Guard Regiment fighting.
He said he enlisted in the 1st Indian Home Guard Regiment, fighting on the Union side.
The Union, he's fought on the Union side, basically, right? But this goes to show you that the Native Americans was not involved in none of these so-called slash that's hidden. Now they say it's only 1,000. Some say 20,000 chiefs. But it is what it is. But one thing you got to figure out, come to understand that it was a lot of chiefs and a lot of Indians that they reclassified as African American.
So I'm leading up to something, right? I'm about to lead up into where I'm gonna get to. So if this is true, and we've looked up Silas Jefferson, we got him. You know what I mean? And he was born in 1835. And he immigrated with an E. Not with an I, with an E. So that means he moved from one place, and we'll look up the definition of immigrate with an E versus immigrate with an I. All right. But then he became an Indian agent and he fought on the side of the Union. Now, this played a clear role in what happened during the Civil War. So you would say at the time of the Civil War being started, he was like 19, 20 years old. You see? So I'm not going to harp on that real quick. Just deposit that. Deposit that. Let's get to the other ones.
Dying in the ashes of the Civil War, and that's just not what happened. Take the DeWolf family of Rhode Island. In the early 1800s, they're the largest slave trading family in U.S. history. Ships, insurance, rum, finance. And when slavery becomes inconvenient, the...
Okay, so we got the Wolf, right? We got the Wolf. The Wolf family.
Money doesn't disappear. It flows into...
See, all this stuff is coming out now. So this would be easy enough for a lot of people to follow that's listening based on all the research that was already done. So if you put names and faces to this, then you'll see where he might be coming from. Because you got Mrs. Anjar, so he's some form of what you consider a Hindu. And he's given his take on it based on information that he found.
Banks, railroads, manufacturing. Family members become senators, judges, and philanthropists. Today, that wealth lives quietly across New England old money networks. Their estimated legacy wealth is about $2 billion. Take the Brown family. Their fortunes deeply entangled.
Hold on. Let me look at everybody real quick. Did I mute that? Yeah, I did. So let's come back over here. I just want to come back into the channel. None of your business. Yep. Sister Bethy. Hey, what's going on, sister? All right. Heartfelt. J-Dub, what's going on? Old dude. What's going on, my brother? All right, so let's get into this real quick. Because under the circumstance, I don't want to interrupt it. But now this guy is a Hindu. He's giving up information that pretty much most people that's going to be in this chat already know, right? And even the previous one of what the brother was saying in the previous one I just showed, thousands of chiefs, thousands. All right. Like I said, repost this. Appreciate everybody coming up here. Hit the thumb up, thumb down, hit a button, whatever it might be. Don't matter to me. All right, let's get back to it.
In slavery through financing and provisioning, and when the trade becomes controversial, the capital pivots. Education, philanthropy. Today, that money's institutionalized in Brown University's endowment, which has a value of about $7 billion.
Okay, now this is Brown University now. These are connected to people that I think he assumes might look a certain type of way.
Not all of it comes from slavery, but the seed capital did. And there's the Astor family. They're not enslavers, they're arguably more important to the system. They're capital providers. They finance cotton merchants, insure slave property, and reinvest their profits into Manhattan land. Their estimated modern equivalent is $3 to $4 billion. In the Deep South, there's no clearer example than Stephen Duncan. By the 1830s, he's the richest planter in America. Crucially, he diversifies before the Civil War.
Is that him? That's him, y'all. He's saying that's him. He brought up the picture. That's him. That's him. We're going to listen to it one more time. We're going to run it all the way back. But I want you guys to get it, and then we're going to run it all the way back. And we want to critique this.
Moving his capital into northern banks. And today's descendants aren't plantation owners. They're doctors, lawyers, professionals living in New York, New England, and the mid-Atlantic. Their estimated modern equivalent wealth peaks at about $6 billion. In South Carolina, the Hampton family enslaves thousands through rice and cotton empires. And after...
Okay, we got the Hampton family. Remember, here it is.
Emancipation, their wealth doesn't collapse. It moves into law, into land, into politics. Governors, senators, influence, not plantations. Their estimated modern equivalent is about $1 billion.
So far, I think we touched on maybe about $15 billion.
Wealth didn't vanish in 1865. It graduated from plantations to portfolios, from whips to contracts, from enslavement to endowment. Their descendants...
Woo! Did y'all catch that? Did you catch that? Hey, J-Dub, you catch that? It went from what to portfolios, went to this to that? Portfolios.
They're not villains, but they're comfortable, and perhaps they don't know where that comfort comes from.
All right. Let's do it one more time.
When people think about slave wealth, they imagine it dying in the ashes of the Civil War, and that's just not what happened. Take the DeWolf family of Rhode Island. In the early 1800s, they're the largest slave trading family in U.S. history. Ships, insurance, rum, finance. And when slavery becomes inconvenient, the money doesn't disappear. It flows into banks, railroads, manufacturing. Family members become senators, judges, and philanthropists. Today, that wealth lives quietly across New England old money networks. Their estimated legacy wealth is about $2 billion. Take the Brown family. Their fortunes deeply entangled in slavery through financing and provisioning, and when the trade becomes controversial, the capital pivots. Education, philanthropy. Today, that money's institutionalized in Brown University's endowment, which has a value of about $7 billion. Not all of it comes from slavery, but the seed capital did. And there's the Astor family. They're not enslavers, they're arguably more important to the system. They're capital providers. They finance cotton merchants, insure slave property, and reinvest their profits into Manhattan land. Their estimated modern equivalent is $3 to $4 billion. In the Deep South, there's no clearer example than Stephen Duncan. By the 1830s, he's the richest planter in America. Crucially, he diversifies before the Civil War, moving his capital into northern banks. And today's descendants aren't plantation owners, they're doctors, lawyers, professionals living in New York, New England, and the Mid-Atlantic. Their estimated modern equivalent wealth peaks at about $6 billion. In South Carolina, the Hampton family enslaves thousands through rice and cotton empires. And after emancipation, their wealth doesn't collapse. It moves into law, into land, into politics. Governors, senators, influence, not plantations. Their estimated modern equivalent is about $1 billion. Wealth didn't vanish in 1865. It graduated from plantations to portfolios, from whips to contracts, from enslavement to endowment. Their descendants, they're not villains, but they're comfortable, and perhaps they don't know where that comfort comes from.
All right, so look. Look. Understand this, right? If we look at it from white slavery, right? The Mann Act, we have basically the transfer of people coming over here from Europe during the time in the 14, 15, 1600s, 1700s. Then you have the creation of the United States of America, right? Then with the Continental Congress and Articles of Confederation, the Continental Congress, and then you have the United States of America, which only covered 13 colonies, 13 areas that didn't encompass the whole, what you consider the state of Rhode Island, New York, New Jersey, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia, I think, Maine, 13 of them. Connecticut, all these different places, right? We all know that those things only cover certain places that they called forts at that time, or ports that was by the water. Now, previously, we heard the brother that was talking about there was over 20,000 chiefs here. So that means there were 20,000 Indian, Aboriginal, indigenous empires here, confederations all working together in trade. Now, we know with the Beaver Wars and the other things that, and the Treaty of New York and these other agreements that was going on, these treaties that they had even prior to the establishment of the United States, that there was major trade going on. Now, on top of that, there was something that this brother Aboriginal Power just showed yesterday or the day before, showing the maritime laws that was going on at that time. And we also know that the Mayans and the Olmecs were doing maritime trade, and they originate in the Americas. So now we look at Astor, the Wolves, right? The Wolf Clan. We have all these different names of people that were doing major business here. And when you're dealing with cotton and you're dealing with all the different elements of trade and vegetables and fruits and minerals that was moving around, and you could talk about the Narragansett, the Wampanoag, the people up there in the Northeast, and you talk about the Wabanaki people, right? People Benjamin Banneker came from. All these people is doing big time maritime trade, whalers, so on and so forth. But see, what this guy doesn't know, and this is how these people come over here, they come over here with limited knowledge. Now, he was talking about matter of fact, so that means he did his research. The only thing he's missing is who were they and what did they look like. It's always going to come down to that. That is your essence of white supremacy. So clip that. That right there in a nutshell, he's pretty much spelling it out. So that means there had to be some major business going on based on the horse and buggy they like to show you. You see what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on, Abby? Now, under the circumstances, when you're dealing with the certain information that people are giving, if there are 1,000 to 20,000 chiefs, that means there's 1,000 to 20,000 empires. There's 500. There's a book called 500 Nations, but they do know that there are 500 nations. There is a book called 500 Nations. That is undoubtedly what it is. You see what I'm saying? What's going on, Reclassified? Appreciate you being here. Appreciate everybody being here. Let's move forward. I want you guys, I should have said them two for last, but I want to get into some. Hold on. Let me, I'm going to pass them, past that. I want to get to this because these are my sisters out here in Chicago that be talking this. They be talking that good talk. They be talking that good talk. Right.
Sanctuary cities.
And go to you now, Sheriff. Thank you. So you've demanded a full forensic audit of every dollar tied to migrant shelters, right?
Yes.
And a freeze on the $92 million budget until full reviews are completed?
Yes, sir.
And you want the accountability and community input?
Yes, sir.
And a federal investigation into potential corruption, and potentially, if there is corruption, you want prosecution. Is that right?
Yes.
And most importantly, you want an end to sanctuary policies that you feel disadvantages you guys as citizens of Chicago vis-a-vis illegal aliens who are being released into your community.
We want to end sanctuary cities.
And go to you now.
My man, Leave It to Beaver is like, whoo, get him. That's right, Paul. Yeah. Now, this is another take. I'm going to get this one out too. This is another take on this Southern Law Poverty Center. You see what I'm saying? Cognitive dissonance, like Southern Law Poverty Center. Listen to what she says. Listen to what she says.
The indictment against the Southern Poverty Law Center. I know that Kash Patel and that interim AG are very proud of this. This is ridiculous to me. I am a lawyer, but I will say that I don't think you have to be a lawyer to see how crazy this is. So in case you're not familiar with SPLC, they are an organization that's been around since the 70s. Julian Bond was one of the founders of the Southern Poverty Law Center. They're based in the South. Most of their offices are in the South by design. They are credited with really helping to dismantle the money aspect of the KKK. They would sue them. They would basically make it very hard for them to operate. They would get these large.
Really? Listen to what she said. The Southern Law Poverty Center was the one that was actually helping to audit and indict the KKK. Really? Come on. Stop.
Settlements from them. They also are very good at researching hate groups, especially white supremacist groups. And so what they do is they will, groups you've never heard of, before they make it to your TV screen for some type of big scheme or conspiracy or crime, the SPLC has already been investigating them. They already will have them documented on their website. And so here recently, they started talking about the Turning Point USA group on their site, talking about the Great Replacement Theory, which they were pushing. And so people didn't like that, as you can imagine. And so Republicans have long not liked SPLC because they do focus on white supremacist groups, which are right-leaning. And so they have indicted them today, and it's all tied to the payments they make to informants. And the introductory paragraph, I was reading this as if I was
watch this.
Like, y'all want me to be offended by this, and I'm not. So basically, they're arguing that they are out here getting money, they being SPLC, getting money under the idea of donate money to our cause. We are helping to dismantle white supremacist groups like the KKK, Aryan Nation, and other groups like that, right? So people are giving out this money, and they're like, instead, they are using this money to fund these groups. They are giving money to these groups, and they start naming out all these different informants, including some that were part of the Unite the Right event in Charlottesville, which I think is just very interesting for this administration to even mention. But here we are. And then one of the informants was actually an imperial wizard of the KKK. And so they want us, people who have given money to or support SPLC, to be like, oh my God, my money was going to informants whose goal was to come back with information that would have eventually dismantled these groups, is my response to that. It's like, finish the thought. And so then in order to pay them, they had to create these like fake organizations that had different names, and they would send direct deposits to the informants from these organizations. And so that part is also not surprising.
She said that they were paying people to go to the KKK. So that's like the Black KKK. What is that? What was that movie? The Black Klansman. So they was paying people like that to go over to the KKK and infiltrate the KKK to get information. I mean, listen to her. She don't even believe what she's saying. Jeez.
I don't think the imperial wizard of the KKK wants a direct deposit from the Southern Poverty Law Center or a check.
Why not? They wanted one from Marcus Garvey. Why not? Marcus Garvey was going to do business with him. Elijah Muhammad sat down with him. Malcolm X did. So did Farrakhan. Why not?
From SPLC, I think that would be suspicious. I also don't think they want to check from the CEO of SPLC either, because hello.
This is what you guys don't, this is not you guys. You guys that might be listening somewhere around later. What you guys don't understand is that these groups are all under self-determination. All of these groups, all these so-called Black groups are under self-determination, and they get fully funded money from the government to operate. How they operate is how they operate. They either operate one way or they operate the other way. But at that time, when you're talking about self-determination, you're talking about you're a sovereign group. You're your own tribal organization, government, your nation, i.e. Nation of Islam, so on and so forth. You have your church, you have your religion, you have everything, ministry, philanthropy, whatever you might be doing. So that means you're talking on eye-to-eye level. There's no subjectivity. But what she's talking about, what everybody's talking about in regards to this issue right here, is a subjective slave mentality. Get it?
We got Google. That would also be suspicious. So they use these groups. Now, this is the part that probably could get them in trouble because of like wire fraud, because they essentially they weren't being completely forthcoming to the banks about what these orgs actually were. So these kind of fake groups, one was called Center Investigative Agency, CIA, cute, I like it. Fox Photography, Northwest Technologies, probably, I'm thinking Northwest was intentional, and the Tech Writers Group and Rare Books Warehouse. The books probably was interesting, because I don't imagine people who was getting this money, they don't sound very well.
She did all that to come back to this. Oh, yeah, well, they might have a problem with that. I mean, come on.
Read to me, but anywho, so the bank started investigating these groups, and so I can see that being of issue. So I'm interested to see what are the workarounds to create these groups, these other entities that aren't necessarily like tied to the parent company, because the parent company, to do this work, to pay these informants to get this information, to dismantle these groups, you got to be able to find a way to pay them and not have SPLC written all over it. So I am curious about the workaround for that. So I guess one could argue that they lied to the banks. Okay. But they really are leaning in on this idea that they lied to donors and led donors to believe they were giving money to help dismantle these hate groups when actually they were funding the groups. We were giving money to the traitors who were going to give us information that could then be used to dismantle the groups. So I'm reading this and I'm like, Finish the thought. That's not what was happening here. So those are the allegations. Over it, like tied to the parent company, because the parent company, to do this work, to pay these employees, to get this information, to dismantle these groups, you got to be able to find a way to pay them and not have SPLC written all over it. So I am curious about the workaround for that. So I guess
she want to keep bringing in to get rid of these groups. Are these groups gone? No, they're still here.
I guess one could argue that they lied to the banks. Okay, but they really are leaning in on this idea that they lied to donors and led donors to believe they were giving money to help dismantle.
Lady, why aren't you talking about an Asian woman named Wang bringing a claim, getting to the Supreme Court under the American Civil Liberties Union about birthright citizenship and how Asians are entitled, and she mentioned that, how they're entitled to civil rights and birthright citizenship. How about talking about that? You don't want to talk about that. All right, cool.
These hate groups, when actually they were funding the groups. We were giving money to the traders who were going to give us information that could then be used to dismantle the groups. So I'm reading this and I'm like, finish the thought. That's not what was happening here.
Yeah, but you can't fathom that's actually possible. Right.
So those are the allegations. Even before a grand jury in Alabama, which is where their main office is. I'm so curious who was on this grand jury in Alabama. This is why you must show up for your jury summons, folks, because if not, these kind of cases make their way through. We'll see.
All right, that's enough. All right, so look, we're going to get to this issue here, right? I think we pretty much got a good foundation of what we're talking about here. There's a lot of confusion. A lot of our people are confused. Now, I want to bring this thing up, right? Because this is where a lot of people aren't getting into. I mean, people are listening, Abby, dude. Let them listen. They don't have to hit the like button. They don't have to do none of that. Just listen closely. Right? Because under the circumstances, right? I'm gonna jump over here. None of your business sent me a couple leaks. I'm gonna jump over there, and then I'm gonna go to this link from Mossy Warrior. I think he was trying to analyze me and Dulcinea's debate. He did a terrible job, but we're going to clarify because I think you got some questions that need to be answered. And you know what? I'm going to answer it for him. All right. So let's go over here. I don't know what this is. I ain't even looked at it yet, but we're going to see what it is.
Deleted history. On August 6th, 2025, several sections of Article 1 of the Constitution were deleted from the Library of Congress website. Specifically, these clauses included laying out Congress's power with regard to the military, as well as powers granted to states, and the section related to the right of habeas corpus, which protects citizens from unlawful detention. When this was pointed out, the Library of Congress stated that it was due to a coding error, which would be rectified soon. Of course, changing a website doesn't change the Constitution, but this is an official website. It feels weird it being edited at all, and most people do access the Constitution online these days, so it's understandable why certain people and publications found this alarming. After all, this administration has made it a policy to remove historical articles and language they don't like from government websites, as we've covered in this series. Meanwhile, presidential advisor Stephen Miller had recently floated the idea of suspending habeas corpus, and illegal detention is coming up a lot in conversation these days. And while this does just look like a dumb coding error, it shines a spotlight on the danger in trying to send a political message by removing historical information from government websites. It puts everyone on edge, worrying that along with deleted posts about Doris Miller, the 442nd to 100th Battalion, and female World War II pilots, the very Constitution might become recently.
Interesting. Interesting. Here's the other one. She posted. Now, let me blow this up just a little bit. Let me read this real quick. The people does not include U.S. citizens. It says American people, U.S. citizens are two different things. U.S. citizens do not have any rights. The privileges and immunities of citizens of the United States do not necessarily something in the something, but there's case law. The only absolute and unqualified right of United States citizen is to something. But these case laws right here, all right. It's case laws, all right. None of your business. We're going to see. Whoever that is can't keep their hands still. She must be on a boat or something, moving around. All right. All right. All right. Well, okay. That's some heat right there. All right. So let's do this, right? Let me go to the chat real quick. Let me look this up. Let me drop this down and let me bring. Yeah, none of your business. That hand was moving around. That thing was shaking. Ty Sam, what's going on, brother? All right. So look, we're going to go to Mossy Warrior, right? They want to come up and they want to talk about this issue. Let's go here. Bingo. All right, let me pull this up. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Y'all can come up. I'm just going to talk a little ish. And this is an interesting thing. I'm going to pin the thing to the top. Pin the tail on the donkey. Hold on, let me get this up here. Let me pin this to the chat, to the top or whatever that thing is called. And let's get this in real quick. Hold on, let me blow it up a little bit. Where am I at here? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. That's it. Now, what we're going to do is, in the meantime, we're going to look up some of these words. And matter of fact, let me go ahead and take this down because I'm going to jump around. Jump around. Jump around. Jump around. Jump up to get down. Jump. Everybody jump. Everybody jump. All right, where is it at? There you go.
Indians. As you can see from the flyer, this looks like some made up stuff, right? Of course, always to kind of throw you off. But this dude over here looks Native American, but this sister right here does not.
Strike one. He said that one does not. That one looks Native American. That one does not. Strike one.
Typically speaking, and you know, the hairstyle and all of that, right? She doesn't look like it. She looked like Sanaa Lathan.
Okay.
Right. So the first thing that I want to do is before we get into all the ignorance, is I want to establish who are American Indians. So before we get into the debate, we must understand that I don't know if Dulcie and I don't know if Anton is going to define who are.
There's no N in that name. Where does the N come in? Is that like a is that like a east of the Mississippi conversation? Like how y'all pronounce things is just automatically an N in there? It's Aton. Aton. That's it.
Are American Indians. I ain't seen it. We're going to experience this ignorance together.
It ain't gonna work out. It ain't gonna work out good for him. None of your business. It ain't gonna work out good for him. Trust and believe. I mean, he put the thing up there, so I got at least comment, react to it. You know, it's all good. Yeah, I tagged him, let him know. Come on over. He good.
So I want to pull up briefly legal definitions of American Indian, right? And I said legal definitions because I have six sources that I want to utilize in order to lay the groundwork for who is being defined as American Indian. Okay. Now,
granted, we did plenty of research on this. Plenty. I've showed it in many different aspects. Right? So watch this.
From Cornell Law School. In the United States law, the term Indians refer generally to the indigenous peoples of North American continent at the time of European colonization. Alaska Natives and Native Hawaiians refer to people who are indigenous to the areas occupied by those named states. The terms tribe or band designate a group of indigenous people of the same or similar heritage, united in a community under one leadership or government and inhabiting a particular territory. Because Indians have increasingly preferred nation or people, the term tribe has become controversial. The terms used may vary from statute to statute and case to case as well. Okay.
All right. So what we have right here, let's blow this up a little bit. He has Title 25 USC 2902 definitions. Right? Chapter 31, Native American languages. So he's bringing these things up, right? He's bringing these things up. Right? All right. So you guys saw that? All right, cool. Let's continue.
All right. Here go another definition. This is coming from the U.S. Code of House.gov. It says, for the purpose of this chapter, the term Native American means an Indian. Y'all hear?
Now, you know, this is probably his first time coming to that website. He had a problem even spelling it. You know what I'm saying?
Hear that? The term Native American means Indian, Native Hawaiian, or Native American Pacific.
Be patient, man. It's going to take him a while. You know, he's trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to figure it out. So be patient. Eventually, we're going to get there.
Pacific Islander. The term Indian has the meaning given to such term under Section 7491, Article 3 of the Title 20. The term Native Hawaiian has the meaning given to such a term in the section blah, blah, blah. The same as Native American Pacific Islander. And then it goes on, the terms Indian tribe and tribal organization and so forth, right? Laying the foundation for the term Native American. Remember, they said something different, American Indian. So I'm throwing these terms out there because I'm about to show you how synonymous American Indian and Native American are based on definitions. Okay? All right. Over time, indigenous people of the United States have been referred to by many names. Today, the most common names are American Indian, Native American, Indigenous, or Native, right? This is coming out of Pratt Institute Library. Okay? We ain't got to draw it out. We ain't got to do none of the crazy stuff.
Now, look, let me read this. It says, over time. So we're clear. over time. Indigenous people in the United States have been referred to by many names. We had that problem. Suspect classifications, right? Remember we talked about 5th, 14th Amendment, suspect classifications, also colored, black, Negro, African American, mulatto, Creole, all different type of names. Right? The most common names are American Indian, Native American, Indigenous, or Native. Now, this is their understanding of it, just standing under something they really don't know. This is just going off popular idea. All right? So we're clear. Although all these terms is small, so you might want to expand and blow up a little bit. All of these terms are still actively used. Native people prefer to be called by their specific tribal name. Honoring this specifically is of great importance to Native people, as it is a way of honoring a distinct tribal culture by naming the peoples that predated European colonizers' arrival. In the United States, the term Native American has been widely used in the United States. It's been used in the United States. Remember, United States of America, two separate entities. They're not one and the same. All right? Damn, this thing is. Still, it is falling out of favor with some groups. Some groups, you know who those groups are, right? Yeah, raise your hand. Raise your hand in this chat. Raise your hand. Yeah, it's falling out of favor. Yeah, nah, we're not running with that. And I'm about to show you why. And the terms American Indian or Indigenous American are preferred by many Native people. See, they want to throw this Native up in there. This is where Native, within their definition, within the continental United States, is not to be applied, right? American Indian, Native American, that's your SF form, which is standard form 181. That gives you a breakdown. I showed you guys that on other ones. Are acceptable and often used interchangeably in the United States. You see what I'm saying? However, Native peoples often have individual preferences on how they would like to be addressed. All right. Now, let's see how well he does. Hold on. Damn, did I miss something here? I went all the way. All right.
And has been widely used. Still, it is a fall out of a favor with some groups, and the terms American Indian or Indigenous American are preferred to by many Native people. American Indian, Native American, or Native are acceptable and often used interchangeably in the United States. However, Native people often have individual preferences on how they would like to be addressed.
You see how he did it? He emphasized in the United States and Native. He emphasized that like that meant something.
Okay. So that's from the Pratt Institute. We went to the uscode.house.gov. We went to Cornell Law Institute for a definition. Now we're going to go to Washington courts. We're going to go to Washington courts where they have a PDF document. This chapter 13, attachment 3, And this is how they define American Indian or Alaska Native. It is a person with some degree of Indian blood and who is recognized as an Indian by a tribe and or the United States. There is no singular definition for who is an American Indian Alaska Native. These terms are often interchanged with Native American, Indian, indigenous, or tribal people.
Now, see, he keep talking about this interchange thing. Who is doing the interchanging? Right? And what he's not understanding is the United States. In the United States. See, a lot of people don't get that the United States have their own rules within the United States. I've showed plenty of times that the American Indian, the indigenous people, pre-1925 were not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. So even if they use these terms, they were not accepted and was not even given any credibility to the actual indigenous people because that's their own separate conversation. It's their own separate conversation. What he wants to do is he wants to incorporate that, just like he wants to incorporate other type of conversations that don't mean diddly.
Keep it short, keep it sweet, drive the point home that Native Americans are American Indians. The term is synonymous. We must understand who are American Indians. Got another one out of Iowa. It doesn't, it actually.
Just be patient. I just want to get to all his major talking points on this, and then I'm going to come with mine.
It does, but I'm not about to read every instance of this dictionary because this is in.
Please don't.
A 22-page literature, and I'll highlight some of this stuff real quick for you. But it's just regurgitating the information that is here and how they properly define. This is something about terms. As you can see, definitions of Indians. You know, if you want me to scroll up a little bit more, definitions of Indians, and then these, my bad. And then these case numbers associated with them by the federal. So all of these, like I said, are attached to that. Federal statutory and regulatory definitions of Indian.
Now, federal statutory and regulatory definitions. Let's break this down. Statutory. It's not the rule of law. These are things that are being applied or what they consider, what they want these definitions and what the Indian is supposed to be within their jurisdiction. Right? These are statutory things and regulatory definitions. Now let's see what he got to say.
So you go. So these are governmental definitions on who they say are which, what, where, how, when. Who?
Okay, he's just finding stuff. Now let's read this part right here. Right? Let's read this part. In the summer of 2022, I was working on an article on the impact of various definitions of Indian on public health surveillance. And I needed that list. I begrudgingly resolved to generate it myself. Numerous practitioners, if anybody's in the back, I don't see you right now, so hold on. Numerous practitioners, scholars, advocates, and courts have described and critiqued the various definitions of Indian status under law. Okay, so where we at? So for definitions of Indian and federal statute regulation, I reviewed several thousand provisions and wide tended toward over inclusion. I found over 80 unique definitions of Indian under the statutory code. 80. If you got 80 of them, you got 80. 80. Does any of that stick? Can't. Absolutely, it can't stick. If you got 80 of them over time. Okay, so 80 unique definitions of Indian under the statutory code. Most defining Indian status by membership in a federally recognized tribe. The federal statutory and regulatory code definitions of Alaska Native, Urban Indian, and Native American are also provided in appendices 2-4. Now, federally recognized. See, people say, well, I don't want to be federally recognized. The one thing about a treaty is recognition. Recognition doesn't mean authority. Remember that. I made that very clear. It's not authority, it's recognized. Yeah, like we say, you better recognize. You better recognize. Yeah, I recognize. You recognize what? Who I am. Recognize. You want to be recognized versus being seen to be invisible, which you will be, which you have been. If anything happened to you under these other suspect classifications. All right, let me.
Who these nouns are. I'm gonna say it like it. Who these nouns are. So again, in December 22, excuse me. So they're all there. All right. So let's fuck the whole debate up early. Fuck it. All right. Paper from PLOS 1 called The Phylogeneity of 4 Pan-American mtDNA haplogroups, Implications for Evolutionary and Disease.
Let me read this. His history or genetic genealogy, then you're undoubtedly heard of a new paper from PLOS 1 called The Phylogeny or Phylogeny of the 4 Pan-American, not African, mtDNA haplogroups, implications for evolutionary and disease studies. Right? This is for evolutionary and disease studies. That's where this is coming from. The authors from all around the world analyzed over 100 complete Native American mtDNA genomes from the abstract. Where is he going with this?
Study. The authors from all around the world, right? All around the world, including Hugo Perego from SMGF and Antonio Torino of Italy, analyzed over a complete Native American mtDNA genomes. This is from the abstract. In this study, a comprehensive overview of all available complete mitochondrial mtDNA genomes of the 4 Pan-American haplogroups A2, B2, C1, and D1 is provided by revising the information scattered throughout the gene bank and literature and adding 14 novel mtDNA sequences. The phylogenetics of haplogroups A2, B2, C1, and D1 reveal a large number of subhaplogroups.
All right. That's enough. That's enough. Let me read this. So the phylogenies of haplogroups such reveal a large number of sub-haplogroups, but suggest that the ancestral Beringian populations contributed only 6 successful, in parentheses, so contributed only 6 founder haplotypes to these haplogroups. All right. Enough of him. Let me go right here. It's enough of that. I'm going to go right here because he goes on what he's talking about with Dulcinea right here. And then I want him just to give a quick analyzation of what he says here.
Aton has been tagging the Mossy Warrior clan to all his bullshit. Yeah. Dang, she did it all.
Just add it to your round. But what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I'm ready. I just wanted to get my.
All right, we got Brother Aton in the building. All right, whenever you start speaking, go ahead and cook, brother.
All right, so before we get started, am I rebutting first or I'm just doing my intro? Which one is it?
You got the full 12-minute round and your 3-minute rebuttal. You can choose the rebuttal or you can just add it to your round. But what I'm going to do is just let you go straight into it. I'm not going to stop you, so I'm just going to add it on regardless.
Let me pause it real quick. So this dude, Aton, I just realized when he came up on here, Aton has been tagging the Mossy Warrior clan to all his bullshit content that he trying to get views for. So this is going to be.
Now, see, this is how simple Simon he is. I want to get tags. No, bro. I want somebody with a different approach to look at what I'm doing. And if you don't have any problems with it, don't come over here. I invite anybody over here. I get trolled by people that we in the same kind of mindset. You know who I'm talking about. Crazy guy. So it ain't even like that, bruh. None of that. Man, I wouldn't care if I had one person in this chat. Man, I'm going to get this off because I already know. I already know who I want to come holler at. That's why I tag you. And not a coincidence. And anybody else that gets it. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, pretty interesting because I ain't never seen him present anything, but he have been tagging the Mossy, and we ignoring the hell out of that crazy ass.
Right, you're not ignoring me now.
Shit that he kicking. So let's see if he does what she did and define who an American Indian is, and then proceed to build off that, or if he ignores all of that and he gets right into his argument because he don't know how to articulate himself or use a correct research methodology to answer the research question in this debate or this foolery that they got going on.
Okay.
All right, for sure. Well, let's just get started. Let me get started with what I'm going to do anyway. So here we go.
Yeah, get started.
Let's get in.
Add your rebuttal in too. So go ahead, you cook.
Yeah, let's go. All right, so we're going to get off like this. This is what happened. They know who we are, but we don't. We say we are something, but we can't explain it. And we still using these same talking points as a part of that narrative. Now, what I'm going to present this event is that not only did the indigenous nations of North America did not participate in the United States, the indigenous nations of North America were systematically through the courts and acts to execute plenary powers, and we'll get into what that means, to erase the parity, we'll get into what that means, of the indigenous nations. I will use multiple sources and various angles to properly show how advanced the indigenous American nations were and why it was an impossibility for those nations or those people to participate in the United States. For example, now I'm going to get past this one. Now, here you go. Here's the eastern side of North America. Right? This is the eastern side of North America. You see it from the top to the bottom. Now, here's a bigger map of what you see right here. This right here is what you consider be where these 13 colonies was. And here are the 13 colonies on both sides. This is 1775. Now,
man, can you get to it? Get to it, man. Oh, let me fast forward this a little bit.
Nations, especially large confederacies, retained sovereignty, controlled land, trade routes, and treated the Congress as one more foreign council seeking alliance, permission, and legitimacy. This is not ideology. This is how the 18th century world actually worked. Now, here's your definition of American. Everybody looked at it. Those that haven't, here it is. Pertaining to America and as a noun.
So here we go. Dulcie came out and she defined who an American Indian was. This fool, he comes out and says everything that he just said, and now he's defining who is an American. This is the confusion amongst them all as they are staking claim to things that are relevant. Remember, Dulcie does not approve of such the term as it provides an opportunity for Europeans, white people in the Americas to also be American. This is all the person's fault on the channel that they're debating this topic on. They are.
And there you go. You see his response to that? He doesn't understand what he just read prior. All the information that he put out prior, the definition says American Indian. American does what? Comes first. Every other group, it comes second. Native American, Chinese American, Asian American, Indian American. Those are people on the east of Hindus. Alaskan Native. Yep. All these groups, the only one that has in this whole category that has American first is the Indian. See, this is what he does not understand, right? He does not understand, but it's good. But I know the other part was it. He said it's the host, and this was on Aboriginal Powers channel. So he wants to attack Aboriginal power, and he wants to come through me to do it or whatever. Well, not working. Now, let me share something with you, right? Let me share something with you. We could just stop right there. He's really trying to say that this American and the American Indian are two different factions. I didn't want to get into what into what Dulcinea was doing. She's not up here. But just for shits and giggles, let's just see how he ends this off.
About to single-handedly in this debate in their first rounds dismember every claim ever made about their existence in the Americas. Watch.
Initially referring to indigenous copper-colored races. Okay? Now, here we go. In the United States of America.
Hey, you left off something very significant in that definition, because the definition is who the Europeans first saw when they got here. And they didn't see black people. And there is no such race called a copper-colored race.
There's no such thing as a copper-colored race. Well, why is it in the definition? Why is it in the definition? See, the one thing about the Masi warrior clan, this brother, is that he's basically confused. And I think he's a little ignorant too as well. Based on the fact, not in a bad way, it's just based on the fact that he's stuck in one frame of mind. Just one frame of mind, that what he is. Right? So when he comes and says they're not black, let's do this. Right? Here's what I'm going to do. All right? Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. Raz Nadi. What's going on, brother? Here's what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to do too much more on this. Yep. I ain't going to do too much more on this. Yeah, see, it dropped down to 12. Yeah, I figured there was a bunch of trolls that was up here looking, or bots or whatever it might have been. I wasn't even paying attention to that. You know what I'm saying? I'm paying attention to the people that's here. So let me bring this up real quick. Hold on, let me bring this up. Because everything that he's talking about is dealing with within the United States. All right. Let me bring up my Black's Law Fourth. I'm going to bring up my Black's Law Fourth, and then we can get at it, Nadi. Let me just bring this up real quick. Where's that? Education. All right. Let me bring this up real quick. All right. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to take a stroll, and we're going to look up these definitions and see if any of these definitions actually exist. Now, this, let me share my screen real quick so you guys can understand what's actually taking place here. And this is where you know that, this cat really don't know what he's talking about. You see what I'm saying? He don't know what he's talking about. And it's interesting that he actually, you know what I'm saying? The StreamYard is pinned to the top there. Abby, anybody want to come up? All right, so right here, this is Black's Law Dictionary, Henry Camel, revised 4th edition. This shows this is a copyright 1891 all the way through 1957, West Publishing Company. It's copyright 1968. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go first to the word. We're just going to go through the A's. Let's see if we can find American. See if it's in there. All right, let's see if we can find American if it's in here. Okay. So here's American. Pertain to the Western Hemisphere, or in a more restricted sense. To the United States. Restricted. It was assumed in life that the term American included all classes of citizens, native or naturalized, irrespective of where they originally came from. Now let me do this. In this case law, this Light Photo Film Corp v. Bell case law, that the term American, right? It was assumed that the term American included. It was assumed. Remember, assume, make an ass out of you and me? Yeah, it was assumed that the term American included all classes of citizens, native and naturalized. Now, you see the native is in lowercase n. Now, this is 1968. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to go to B, which is black. Let's see if we can find black. Let's see if we, not Black's Law Dictionary, not black, not that one, the other black. Let's see if we can find black. Hold on. Let's go through them. Black acre and white acre. Fictitious names used. Black Act. The statute 9GO-IC-22, so-called, because it was occasioned by the outrages committed by persons with their faces blacked or otherwise disguised, who appeared in Epping Forest near Welton and Essex and destroyed the deer. Okay. Black Acts. Here's the other one with S. Old Scotch statutes. Old Scotch statutes passed in the reigns of the Stuarts and down to the year 1586 or 1587, so-called because printed in black letter. Black Book of Hereford, okay? In English law, we can go past that. Let's see. Black Book of the Admiralty. Let's see what that means. A book of the highest authority in Admiralty matters, generally supposed to have been compiled during the reign of Edward III. Okay, Black Book of the Exchequer. The name of an ancient book kept in the English Exchequer, containing a collection of treaties, conventions, charters. Black cap, the headdress worn by the judge in pronouncing the sentence of death. Black code, a name given collectively to the bodies of law, statutes, and rules in force in various southern states prior to 1865, which regulated the institution of slavery, and particularly those forbidding their reception at public inns and on public conveyances. Civil rights cases. Okay, black game. In English law, Heath foul, in contradistinction to red game or gross. Black liquor, a term used in the paper pulp industry. Black Maria, a closed wagon or van in which prisoners are carried to and from the jail or between the court and the jail. Black mat, a cross between a goat skin and a skin of some other animal. Black Muslim. Okay, we might have something here. An organization of American Negroes, founded in Detroit in 1930 by an American Negro calling himself Muhammad Elijah. To the tradition Quran, the founders added the doctrine of black supremacy and proclaimed the desirability of maintaining the purity of the black race, and proclaimed the desirability. Okay, black rents. In Old English law, rents reserved in work, grain, provisions, or baser money than silver, in contradistinction to those which reserved in white money or silver, which were termed white rents or blanche farms. See blackmail, black rod, gentleman usher of. What else we got? Blackward, blackjack, blackleg, blacklist, blackmail. Where else? Blacksmith shop. Okay, that's it. No black people, no black person. Let's go to India. Let's go to India, since this guy wants to be cute. Yeah, let's go to Indian. Let's go there. Let's go to India. Let's go to India. All right. We're going to get there one of these days. We're going to get to India. We are going to get there one of these days. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. We're here. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Indian country, as the term is used in the federal statutes, is a country to which the Indians retain the rights of use and occupancy. This term, let's come down here. This term does not necessarily import territory owned and occupied by Indians, but it means all those portions of the United States designated by this name in the legislation of Congress. You got Indian reservation. You got Indian title. Claim of Indian tribes and right because of immemorial occupation to roam certain territory to the exclusion of any other Indians, Indian tribe. A separate and distinct community or body of the Aboriginal Indian race of men found in the United States. Bingo. Indians, the Aboriginal inhabitants of North America. Now, we want to come back over here and deal with the other issue of when I provide that 1828 definition or 1832, I forget, definition. You're pretty much talking about a people, right, that are indigenous. that they consider to be copper colored, that they actually have that's connected to the Indians here, what they showed here in these definitions, it actually matches and compares to the American definition. But he's not prepared for all that. He's not on that level just yet. You dig? Now let's go to Native. Let's see if we can find a Native American. And this is 1968, y'all. It's 1968. 1968. 1968. Appreciate you being up here, man. Where you been, man? Where you been? All right, let's go to Native. Let's go to Native. All right, here we go. Here we go. Now, Native. Let's get this big. A natural born subject or citizen. And you remember what we read prior, right? When we talked about what American was, what that life court case said. It was assumed that it dealt with all natural born citizens and naturalized or otherwise, right? So this is considered to be a natural born subject or citizen. A denizen by birth, one who owes his domicile or citizenship to the fact of his birth within the country referred to. Now, at no point in time, they even say in the United States. The term may also include one born abroad if his parents were then citizens of the country and not permanently residing in foreign parts. Now, this U.S. versus Wong Kim Ark is what Wang, the attorney for the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, was arguing the whole time. This is what I'm saying. I understand people say, well, American, Indian, Aboriginal, you know what I'm saying? Copper colored, not copper colored, but indigenous and all that. So what? What it is going to do is going to have you recognized as sovereign people and here from time immemorial. Got it? That's it. That is a foundation that should, in my suggestion, I'm not telling y'all what to do, but it should be brought here. Now, at no point in time, you've seen a black nowhere. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Negro. Let's go to Negro. Let's go to Negro. Let's go to Negro. N-E-G, N-E-G. Negro. The word Negro means a black man, one descended from the African race, and does not commonly include a mulatto. But the laws of the different states are not uniform in this respect. How about that? Some, including in the description Negro, one who has 1/8 or more of African blood. Term Negro means necessarily person of color, but not every person of color is Negro. Now, if you look at this, this is Rice versus Ganglum. Where is that name coming from? And this is in Mississippi. So, as you know, Mossy Warrior channel, that guy was actually still speaking from an African perspective, but he said black. He didn't say Negro. He said black. And if you look at black man, it's in all lower cases. It's not a capital B. And at the same time they're using this term, it's not connected in this Black's Law Dictionary. So if it's not in Black's Law Dictionary, because all these things are going to have case law attached to it, or some what you consider to be statutes at large, it's going to be referenced here. American jurisprudence, corpus juris secundum, Bouvier's. It's going to have some connections there. Think, Mossy Warrior, you tried, but failed. Not good. So hopefully you didn't leave too early enough to clip this part. Anyway, yeah, that's it. See, this is where the information gets a little bit misunderstood. See what I'm saying? But under the circumstance, okay, now he wasn't patient. But under the circumstances, if you look at, right, I'm going to share my whole screen. We're going to go back and we're going to share. Hold on. Okay, he back. All right, there we go. All right, so look. If you actually go back and look at that portion, the definition is more. So, good job. Good job, Mousy Warrior, but not good enough. I mean, you got to do better, though. You got to do better. All right, my brother. What's going on, Nutty? Long time no hear from, man. What's good?
Yeah, I hear, man. I hear. So I'm gonna ask the question again. Where did this name Indian come from? Where's the origin?
You know what?
How if one set of people might be identifying themselves as Indian, it's gonna be all across the whole land like it's been a conglomeratory agreement.
Okay.
At what point or purpose this happened for them to identify themselves as Indians coming together from east, north, south, and west to identify as this term?
Mm-hmm. No, I get you.
Right. So the construct of this term is with the United States. It's no other or European first existence doing direct contact with the individuals. So they incorporated the name Indian to identify all the people on the land, not just one set, but all the indigenous or people before them. So again, where did this name deriving from? I tell you, my studies has come from this was what the true people of the land was calling or identifying the red bird, or what you would see cardinal named today as the Indian. This is what that word meant. It was actually meant to bring it's a gateway to heaven, or they coming from the heavens. Their ancestors coming back, relating to um, the living. It's a transitional bridge between spiritual and the existence of reality. Then the indigenous people of this land identified that bird as Indian. And this bird was sold as an Indian, especially in Europe, because of the color of it, identified with the in the 1600s, 1600s, identifying with the cardinals of Rome because of the ways of it. And this is when the name cardinal get attached to the bird. But prior to that, it was identified as Indian, not the people. The people wasn't. They identified this and attached this to the people under the terms and definition which they have created. So using this name is another oxymoron as using black American, Negro. It's a term of identity that we're taking and adapting to ourselves to be approved by the colonizing establishment.
Right. Now, I agree. But you know, it's been so mixed up in bad gumbo that we got to be able to attach. That's just my approach. You got to be able to attach it to certain words in order to track it to where the origin is supposed to be. In order to find that foundation. That's why eventually all of it's going to be gone. I think all of it's going to be gone. It's going to be erased. based on the fact of, the more information coming out though. But no, I agree. All these things were something that was applied to indigenous people based on the other people's language. That what they couldn't say. They couldn't say Tallapoosa or something like that. They was like, well, what is there a simple name that we can describe you guys? Maybe engine came out. Maybe it was called something different than, maybe it was.
This is what I'm saying. And listen,
Go ahead.
European coming over as colonizers, introducing themselves to a tribe, or even pilgrims, coming over as pilgrims. We'll take the word colonizing out. Them coming over as pilgrims, dealing with a specific tribal communication. If we want to see it as tribal, which I told you again, that tribe and the Indian and cowboy shit comes from the Arab positioning, living in tents, the Arab positioning, riding on horses and getting chased down with arrows, the Arab process of development. Okay, now we coming and bringing it in this land. The pilgrims coming up and introducing themselves to a specific people doesn't make everyone a whole of the land under that agreement.
Okay. Now, I think the reason why I'm giving it a lot more credibility is because I think that being that we don't know how old this world is, this earth, this rock, we don't know how old it is. And on top of the fact that, people been here, at least we know 200,000-300,000 years. They pretty much stamped that. So, and upright walking, talking, everything. And the structures, colossal structures, just being massive and just super great. And people today can't understand how it was done. That there had to be some form of communication, expertise, and all the things. So we don't know how old. They say that's why they say time immemorial. They can't be counted. That's just been here, done that. So these names have to have some type of strength in it. You know what I'm saying? Do some type of play on words type stuff. You know what I'm saying, Natty? That's the only reason. That's my angle. You know what I mean? That's just my angle, Natty. That's how I'm looking at it.
Again, how are you placing this on the whole of the people?
I'm not. But in my circle, I have to. It's just what it is. I'm talking about my circle, not the YouTube my circle. I'm talking about my circle.
I hear you saying that, but the derivative of the word, Brother Van, is in a definition conclusively under the United States or European colonization. It's not identified by the people. Once you identify this terminology, it places you in the construct of operation under it by its correct definition from the United States or the European colonizations, France, Europe, Italy, them type of branches of civilizations.
I get that.
So again, you have no freedom outside of what they allow. The Indians shall be non-taxed. Why an Indian would be non-taxed? Because they're moving in a commercial state as in corporation, not individuality, but as a commerce. And we got to get these things in our head. When we go to take on names and identifications that's already been defined from a certain sect of rulage, you fall a heed to that, no matter what you believe is different or want to be different. It's a beginning of time immemorial. So this definition was written down long before you came to uphold this claim. And the definition of this, long before you came to uphold this claim. Now you think you could come uphold this claim and think it has something to do with you because it says Indians shall be non-taxed. No, bro, that's not a freedom site. That's being saying that you're strictly under scrutiny of rulage. They already showing you you're under order. You're under their foot by giving you the site of Indians shall be non-taxed. That's an order. Bringing them, the Indian up even in the articles or even in the Constitution is showing rulage over, bro. There's no independent people in the Constitution. When it says we the people, it's not describing no individual. It's just saying we the people are free. And the United States have to go by this Constitution and observe the rights therein that's even admitted to their citizenry. So when they dealing with the citizenry or they dealing with the people is free without name, without construct, without some type of identity of rulage by the United States. There isn't none. So if someone really want to claim something and try to be truly free, it would be we the people, not Indian, not Native, not Cherokee, not Seminole, not none of that, not Alabamian or Mississippian or Ohioan or Massachusettsian, no, or Massachusetts Indian, none of that. It would be we the people. Because everything else has a structure of rulage and definition that precedes it.
All right. All right. So answer this question, Nadi. Heartfelt Senator J. Dub, he said, so what about the Confederate Indian nations that provided government organizational assistance through the constitutions being adapted for the immigrants? It's a good question, man.
Say it again.
So what about the Confederate of Indian nations or the Confederacy of Indian nations that provided government organizational assistance through the constitutions being adapted for the immigrants? Can you handle that?
The Constitution being adopted for the immigrants. The 14th Amendment identifies Negro, enslaved ancestry, or Indians in that. So now you're admitting that the Constitution is examining foreigners or immigrants, right? So that would be part of the immigrant also, bro. It's telling you in the Constitution. If you want to put it, bring that term or bring that in, it's telling you they're immigrants. You go and look up the enslaved 14th Amendment where it says the enslaved ancestry the ancestry of enslaved people at the time. Those people are identified as Africans, immigrants, all slaves with melanated complexion was identified as Africans. The same with the Indian, bro. They're Africans. They're Iberian, not Irish Iberian, but Iberian Irish. They're Africans. They're coming out of the Mediterranean in its origin. And the Europeans know this. This is why they identified this to this name. Now you had in the 70s, the natives didn't want to be called Indian. because they know it was an oxymoron. There's not one individual Indian. There's not. It's not. It's an Indian tribe.
Huh?
The tribal members in a solo, concise census would be identified as natives.
Hey, y'all, keep it going. I gotta use the restroom. Keep going.
So we gotta come up out of these terminologies. If you looking to stand outside of the box, but if you want to be in the box, by all means, I'm not knocking you. You can do what you want to do. You can live how you want to live. You can be called what you want to be called. That came in, I believe it was 1962, when they allowed everyone to self-identify. So they saying, yo, you choose, you pick on what you want to do and what you want to be. But check this out. This is what we own. So you can go on it or find your own. What's up, Davis?
Peace of the gods. What's good, Naughty? Naughty Pity. What's good, my dude? I hear y'all boy talking, man. I was in the car driving. I couldn't really text
Yep,
or
yep,
write
yep.
in the chat like I
That's
needed to,
I,
man.
man. Coming off a little cold.
True that. At least you're coming off it, then. But what's good, though, man?
Oh yeah, I'm here. Just sitting.
True
Trying to
that.
come up
I ain't
here.
want to interrupt the bill. I was listening. I'm curious about something, right? This term, or this, whatever you want to call it, Indian, right? We understand how it's been applied. We understand a lot of us have ancestors that call themselves that also. But my question is, can a particular person that called himself an Indian or a member of a tribe or confederation, can he be sovereign if he's still subject to the chief?
No.
I was trying to explain that to somebody. I'm going to twist the whole shit up, man. It's crazy, man.
Well, this is why they came up with the 13th Amendment in itself, in its entirety. Because they said it wasn't fair it wasn't proper, it was barbaric for a chief to run a whole tribe, including people's wife. If a chief wanted to have sex with your wife, it was nothing you could do about it. You had to surrender it to the chief because he's the chief of the tribe, the Indian tribe. If he
That's what
wanted
I
your
never really
wealth and
understood that.
possessions. Yeah, the 13th Amendment, that's what, and so it took the people and gave people sovereignty, but they was under fiduciary rulage by that sovereignty that they was identified with. Coming from up under the construct of the Indian tribe, the roles, the Indian roles, and these things coming up under the United States um, um, census. The United States said, allow you to come over as sovereign with your own property identification, your own or your property allotment, your own sovereign, self-sovereign identification. But when you come over as a citizen, in between that, you free. In between the roles, the Indian role, and the census of the United States, you're free in between that. But when you come over to be a citizen, you bring all your property and everything over, and it's turning over to us because we consider you to be a minor because you don't know how to operate in business,
Wait, wait, wait,
commerce.
wait. What did I miss? Old dude said, whoa, 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 whoa. What'd you say, Naughty? You know, what'd you do? Throw a haymaker out there?
Yeah, I knocked them
Bobby
out,
said,
man.
I asked a question a little while ago, and not answered it, but it was one of them touchy questions. I mean, the question is,
what's the question?
can you be sovereign and a member of an Indian, or a member of an Indian tribe or confederation?
Okay, what did he say?
Said no.
Oh,
Start explaining why.
that's the whoa, 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 whoa. What? All right.
Yeah, it's one of them ones, man.
All right, go ahead. You ain't gotta backtrack, Naughty. Go ahead. Keep going.
Naughty don't backtrack. That's why a lot of them hate me because I don't compromise. I give them straight raw dog talk, straight raw chat. I don't play with him. So
Hell
what's
yeah.
the next question?
Shit. That's where it's at. Gotta stand on it. I mean, show me something different, then I might adjust, right, Naughty?
Indigenous, speaking as an indigenous, that's more correct than a self-identifying terminology.
Now, did you see? I don't know how long y'all was up here. Did you see the Demasi Warrior cat, how he was trying to define these Indians and how he was using these codes and shit? Like, man, it's all statutory, bruh. Like you have no standing in what you're talking about. You're talking statutory. Those things are fictions. That is congressional legislative talk that is dealing with anybody that wants to accept that type of jargon.
Codes of conduct.
That's right. And you don't even know what jurisdiction. That thing he put up there. It says 80 different definitions of what an Indian is. And I think that's why not he's saying what he's saying, depending on the jurisdiction. Now, I would say my pushback will be, Darvish, will be that the actual pronunciation or the bastardization of that word has no sovereignty in it, but maybe the actual function of the word does.
Explain it.
All right, so for instance, usually engine, right? It'd be, if you want to say it properly, it'll be engine, right? The D and the I is
going in and out, King.
Say it again.
Your mic was going in and out just now.
Oh, really?
It might have been my phone.
Yeah, well, I hear you clearly, so it's got to be me, man. I just got a little cutout real quick. I don't know. But what I'm saying is the word engine is more of a fact of a description, me, myself. More of a description of a people.
Where are you finding this definition at?
I'm saying
description.
Within my own.
It don't work like that, Aton.
It can.
No, it don't. No, it don't. It's got to work off a style manual.
Yeah,
A stylist
you can't
manual.
come up with your own word and
You can't
define
come
it.
up like that. You have to produce your own stylist manual, bro, and put it in your stylist manual
They gotta
in
be accepted.
context of the document. Yes, it has to be accepted under your own terminology as in definition, a stylist manual. If you're just running out there without your proper documentation in notification format, you're going towards the definition of the creator of the word.
All right, so let me finish. Thank you. All right, so look, when I look into that, right? When I look into that word, there's ingenuity, there's engineering. I and the E, vowels are interchangeable depending on what structure you have them in, depending on what language you're talking. Now, these things are describing a people and what they was able to do. That's why I say it's more of a description of anything else. But in that sovereignty, right, my sovereignty aspect will be that the actual engine The actual engine is something that has so superiority in its word and its definition and the attributes thereof. There's sovereignty in that. That is self-sustaining. Sovereign is just being a ruler of just your ruling. What is it? It's like you're your own ruler of your own right or something like that. I can't think of the phrase right now. But being sovereign is just reigning over you.
Basically like above most of those ordinances and laws, or whatever. Yeah, sovereign, head
Yeah,
of
you
something,
just
over something. Yeah, but
it's
go back to
just
the
like
engine thing though.
jurist of your own right, of your own thing. This is what you have.
Self-determination.
That's
But
all.
back to the engine thing though. Let's define what that is. Engine.
Mm-hmm. You got me there. I tried. You got me there. I'm stuck.
Peace of the God.
Stuck like Chuck, man. Hey, I tried to get it out. But yeah, that ain't gonna fly. I already know. That ain't gonna fly. See, you see how easy that is? I was bullshitting y'all.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's J-Dub? What's up, man? What's going on, bro?
I was listening, but I was asking the question, who said the term engine first? Like, is it a mispronunciation amongst a group of people, or?
But see, nobody can. The reason why I did that crazy shit, J-Dub, because nobody really knows. Nobody can really answer that and define it, what it is. Nobody knows where it started, where it originated from. That's why I said, like, engine, the Indian, that term in any form of fashion, whether it be an I or a DI or a G or whatever, or E, or, you know what I'm saying? Nobody knows its origin. I think it's more of a function than anything else.
I think it's more of a slang.
Could be, but that's what I'm saying. It's a slang, like a function. You know, your name is Darvis, but you know, I say, you know, you probably got a name you go by in your community. Your people know you as.
Yeah.
Based on your actions or how you function. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way it is. I think that's just what it is. It's not, but you know, Nadi's right. You know what I'm saying? There's no sovereignty in Indian. What it is, it describes, it's more of a description of a people.
So it'll be additive.
Right. So if you go Indian, engine, or indigenous, or indigenous, or whatever, however you pronounce it, any other thing, that INDI is there. Engine is still in indigenous. It's there. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I agree. But just because you have the same root word in different words doesn't mean the words mean the same thing.
That's true. That's true. I do the play on words all day long. I mean, man, let me tell y'all something. Encyclopedias, thesaurus, Strong's, Vines, all these different books, and I read them, and I know, right?
So,
like you can manipulate the words. You can manipulate the words, and these words have different meanings.
So, look here.
But wait up, Nadi, before you go on to the
And
next
Diane.
one, I wanted to ask
Diane.
you. I wanted you to ask you. You had asked a question about you had.
Go ahead, J-Dub. Ask a question.
That Confederacy question. The Confederacy of Indian nations or tribes, whatever you want to call them, that help. But from what I understood, there was already government organization.
Mic check, mic check. Is that me?
Yeah, where you go?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, I think you went out, okay.
Who went out?
You did.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was just saying when you're describing the
Yep, went out again.
Oh, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Try it again. Go ahead.
Did I go out again?
Yep. Go ahead. Try it again.
Dang.
You might need to tape that bad boy, dog.
Yeah.
Let me turn it up. I'll
Go
turn
ahead.
my mic. Okay, I turn my volume up.
It ain't the volume. You just keep getting cut out.
Okay.
Yep. Did it again.
Reposition yourself, bro. You're probably in the corner somewhere. Come out of that corner.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me get rid of this VPN thing here. All right. What about now? Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. That's better. Go ahead.
Okay, when I was asking about the when I was talking supposedly
that didn't work.
Nah. I don't know,
Let me
man.
write that shit in the chat, man. Let somebody read it, man.
There's always something with my tech. I don't know what's going on. I guess I'll refresh and come back in.
No, I can't hear you. No, I don't know. It's like
Yeah, as soon as you get
try to ask the question. Try to ask the question without being passionate with it.
Okay. Wasn't there already a government, an Indian form of governance here that helped the colonists put their governance together? So
Well,
wouldn't they have helped co-create this vocabulary?
No. Okay. So the confederation that you're speaking on was a governing amongst a tribal set of people in commerce, but they still was up under a rulage and reporting to the empire of the Moors. These were your first i.e. presidents.
Washington.
Yeah. Carver, George Carver,
No,
Washington.
before Washington, George Washington. You're saying i.e. president. So you're saying
the ones prior to Washington.
before Washington. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a government of international commerce, and they was doing international commerce for the Confederate Indians that was already here on this land. So they
So the
created.
Moors. So you wait. I got to stop you there. So you're saying the Moors.
You're breaking up. You broke up. I can't hear nothing.
So the Moors had an interim rule between the Indians or the Aboriginal people and the ones before the Moors, because or are the Moors the original people of this landmass?
The Moors are from the original people of this landmass. That's what created the Moors. The Moors are the travelers of our product to international waters.
But then you're kind of circumventing that by trying.
You're broken up again. I want to have a good conversation.
You're saying the first group is.
You're breaking up again.
Why they messing me up? But I'm trying to say it's kind of convoluted when you say that no, that's a different group.
I didn't go through. It was too small.
That term
Convoluted.
more. That term
How is it?
more.
I'm trying to figure out what he's saying. How does it sound convoluted when there was a different group? How is that? I'm trying to figure what you're trying to say.
Send it from. They got their info. They got their set of rules from a like a parent group. So it's not like their own. It's still something that was from another state.
From their ancestors.
So when did the Moors have this interim power? I guess they took over. It's like you're saying that the Moors was the ones that created.
You broke up, bro. The Moors was the ones that created what?
I'll get it. Value.
Broke up. Can't hear you.
No, that was it. Go ahead.
Okay. You had the indigenous people of this land producing
You're welcome.
produce, producing herb, producing tobacco, producing these things. For it to get into an international trade, you had to have travelers who knew the waters, not travelers that knew how to hunt, knew how to harvest tobacco, harvest cotton, harvest silk. You needed travelers that knew how to travel the waters and in commerce. It's the two different groups. You have the originals still here and the offspring of the original. The offsprings are considered Moors.
Okay, okay. The offspring. So the
You're breaking up. You're breaking up. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Still can't hear you. You might need to drop out and come back on, but go to a different part of the house, man. Stay out of whatever room you're in. Is no good service. Can't hear you. Go in, Doris. What you got?
Peace. Man, really ain't nothing else to say. It is what it is. This term more, I don't know what it is, what about it is, man, and how it irks people, but there's something about that term. I don't know if it's first with root or something like that. When you hear that term, it's hard for the average person, especially scholars, to digest it for some reason. But before we were Christians, we were something else. Don't get me wrong, that
Moors.
term more, yeah, that term more also has a birth date and expiration date. But it describes the people. These are the heirs of the land. They traveled all over the world doing business. They had factories in other lands. They moved other land, had kids in other land. Who had kids? Who had kids? Who had kids?
But Darvis,
Yeah.
you can understand why it's such a pushback on it now because through time immemorial, they had identified those group of people as barbaric, and it's still or a defamation on the name because they want you to defy yourself.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
one of
it's
their wars.
strange. It's strange that the people can't see that, but they want to go with the scenario of being Moor bashing or haters of Moors when you are the original Moor.
And I don't know what's so hard for people to accept that shit, man. But it is what it is. Little time we'll get it. The more we study, we'll get it, man.
It was a time in this land that we walked around with head coverings. See, the people not reading this, and it was a time in this land that was called. They produced black mentos. People not understanding this. They're not doing research on these things. They're just running. It was a time on this land when the Spanish Inquisition or the Papal Bull had came into place. People not reading. People are not seeing these things, even in the 1200 BC. I
I
mean,
don't understand. How can you? I didn't mean to cut you off, but how can you
yeah,
really understand the history of this land if you don't understand his Inquisition?
I don't know, bro. I
That
don't
shit
know.
changed everything when that came here, King. And if you don't
Yeah,
understand that shit, but nigga, you could be lost. Especially once you get past the goddamn 1700s. 'Cause we was here before the 1700s. People was here before the 1600s, before the 1400s, before the 1300s. We was here before time was being counted. We was
remember
here before the flood.
they was fighting against the Moors here on this land all the way in 700 BC. That's when the fights first
Exactly.
started kicking off. 700 BC. They was trying to eliminate the people of this land and take over this land. People need to do research and they understand what is going on. Then they branched off into clans because it was over in a foreign. It wasn't just a more nation. It started to be more clans because now you are allowing the Arab to represent the Moor because they taking on the rulage, the identity, the culture of the Moorish Empire. learning how to keep them head covered, learning how to sleep and eat outside of being laying up with animals inside the barn. It
Yeah.
was it was certain things they culturally identify with to present themselves as Moorish clans. And now you're seeing the upper echelon. Go ahead.
Like I said, Darvis, like that Spanish Inquisition, like that connects all the dots.
Exactly.
I think at the end of the day, people need to be able to, they need to be able to start applying that shit to the conversation because that is your Christopher Columbus, right?
It goes prior to that. It goes before.
And his
Yeah,
Inquisition.
before
Aton,
that.
Aton, 1200 and
And, King
Aton,
Ferdinand,
can you hear me?
Isabella,
Can you hear me? Aton.
gave him money to travel the seas.
Aton.
As we know that
Aton.
The man that was actually the
Can you hear
captain
me?
of the
You
ship,
can't hear me, Kenny.
they
Darvis.
said that
Mic
he
check,
was
mic check, mic check.
a Moor. Said that he was a Moor. That guy.
Huh?
Can't think of his name off the top, but he was a Moor.
Aton, can you hear us?
That wasn't Christopher Columbus's ship.
He can't hear you either,
That was
Darvis.
somebody else's ship that actually he utilized to get over here to America. Connect the dots.
Yeah, it was the Moor ships.
They don't
Remember
want to
how
connect the dots though.
he left the
He can't
same
hear
day.
you. He
Christopher
can't hear you.
Columbus left the same day that the rest of the people that were running for the Inquisition left.
When
Aton can't hear you. He can't hear you.
primary action being done coming over here to the Americas.
Aton, you can't hear us, bro.
So
Aton.
I don't know. I give Dane credit on the one thing. He used to do these Easter egg things. I think it was Easter eggs or these egg, whatever he did. And he actually showed I would share one of the things he did, but I don't know how
Aton.
he might.
Say something to him, Darvis. Tell him how to be quiet there.
He can't hear me neither.
But he actually showed ancient aliens or I think it was ancient aliens in China versus ancient aliens being shown in America. And he actually showed Darvis that the guy that was talking about Christopher Columbus, they showed a picture of him. Showed a picture of him on the boat coming over here with this and people up under the ship and stuff, but they showed him. This brother.
Aton.
But he showed it like that. He clipped that shit and he paused it. I was like, what?
Aton.
They actually showed Christopher Columbus like that?
Aton. Is he need to drop.
So they actually showed him he showed that what they're showing here in America is different what they're showing everywhere else about the information that they're giving. They're clipping things out. These things are already pre-recorded. They're clipping these things out, but they're showing it in different places differently than they're showing it here in America. So they actually, what he showed.
Someone in the chat let Aton know he can't hear us. He's talking to the wall.
He's talking to the I don't know if you seen that one, Darvis, but that was a bang. That was a banger.
Aton.
You can hear me, Aton?
Yep. You there, Darvis?
Yeah, mic check. You hear me? Mic check, mic check. You
He
hear
can't
me?
hear. He can't hear neither one of us.
Anyway, let me shut up.
Thank
you. On TV right now. I just turned the TV on because about to watch this game in a minute, but they got this dude, they got the California Attorney General on here, Rob Bonta. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's a piece of work. Oh no, that ain't Rob Bonta. It's Xavier. You know what I'm saying? And he got a picture of him with This weird dude in the background. Yeah. Governor. Yep. So, but a lot of the information that they show in America, see, this is what I'm saying, y'all. A lot of the information that they show in America, and that's the one thing I took from that presentation that he gave, that the information we're getting here in America is way different than the information these other places are getting. They're actually getting the real. So when they come over here, they're fully informed of where they're coming to and who are the original inhabitants of this land. And that's anywhere that you go. If you travel, right? You guys probably have traveled.
Bro, you need to come off, bro. Let somebody talk. Got some
You'll
sense.
actually know who are the actual inhabitants of that land. And when they tell these people coming over here, these are the original inhabitants of this land, and they say it,
Bro.
you're gonna show us.
Aton.
Say these people, this is what they do. They gangsters, they rap, they play ball, they do gang banging, they do this, they do that.
Shit, I think I might need to drop down, come back up, man.
And
I
this
just
is
did that. He still couldn't hear me. It's on him to drop down.
outside of that.
He got to
All
drop
telling
down.
the people is that these are the original inhabitants of America, North America. Here they are. This is them, because they all know that they're not. They all know that they're not the original inhabitants. Those people that are showing, these are your original inhabitants. These people. But this is who they are. Make sure when they walk by you, take your purse, take a couple steps to the right, look at them in a certain type of way with fear, because these guys are savages. Can you guys not hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
I can't hear you.
We hear you,
I can
but
hear
you
you, but I
don't
don't
hear
think you can hear
us.
us.
Yeah, I can't hear y'all.
Drop.
You said drop down. Hold on.
Yeah.
Said leave studio. Hold on. Let me drop my.
I hear you.
Can you hear us now?
Y'all hear me now?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, we hear you. Yeah, we hear you. I just can't hear you. You can't hear us.
We've been hearing you.
Drop
Can
down,
you?
please. Hold on. Let's go back.
You still can't hear us, Aton?
You come up again. All right. Hold on. Let me do this. Boom. Leave studio.
You might need to leave the whole program, because every time you come back up, you can't hear us. But let me get in my spiel before he come back in with the craziness. So I'm gonna go on my knowledge of specifically that identifies with me. The Arawak and the Tainos
Now, you
in the
talking? I can't hear you.
1200s,
You can't hear me?
late 1200s, early 1300s. These Arawak and Tainos were brought in. They're not origin to the
Y'all hear
islands.
me?
Neither. You can
What
wet
if
me
Hey
all
man,
day.
say that one more time, Nutty.
I'm trying to give you real facts, bro.
One
Historical
of the chat y'all
research.
can hear me.
What
Can you hear
y'all
me?
not doing, it sounds like the majority of
Yeah.
the people just going on some narratives of lip service. It's not no real educational
Oh,
reading
that's the
to find out
problem.
real information, bro. So when I come around and drop some real jewels, people don't know what the fuck it is, and they calling shit pseudo. I don't know what I'm talking about. I know exactly what I'm saying.
Give the sources. That's all.
I just gave you a source, bro. Go
What
ahead.
was the source?
The Blackamintos. The Blackamintos is what led your Arawak and Tainos to come in onto the land. The land actually was truly belonged to the Caribs. The Caribs got
Okay.
chased off their own land.
Okay, the Caribs. Okay, yeah.
That's not no Taino. That's not
Yeah,
no
you're right.
Arawak.
You're right. I
The
forgot about
Taino
that.
and Arawaks are hunter gatherers.
I thought the
No
Caribs.
indigenous people.
I
Hold on,
thought they
bro.
were
No
connected.
indigenous people of the Americas were ever hunter gatherers. We didn't hunt buffalo. We didn't hunt. We
That's
didn't
true.
take
That's
life.
true. That's absolutely true. Never
We
ever.
didn't. Never. The people that you seen hunting, gathering are foreigners, immigrants brought to the
Exactly.
land because
Exactly.
that's all they can do on their land was hunt and gather.
They had no
They couldn't
settlement.
grow shit on their land. They didn't have the site of agriculture.
No.
That comes from the Americas, bro. Comes
Exactly.
from the
Yeah.
Americas.
Yep.
So if you seeing some Tainos or some Arawaks and they're hunter gatherers from their origin, they're not a origin to the land. They was brought here during the BlackAmentos to thin out the darkness of the land, bro.
I think we should go a little more into that black mentals too, man.
Yeah, people need to
Yeah,
read
I
some
can hear
things,
y'all.
bro.
I had
And stop
my
just
bad. I
trying to
had
block shit out and
y'all.
call shit lies when someone come get somebody some facts.
Yeah, but I mean, do
Can y'all hear me?
yourself.
We hear you,
Huh?
Aton. You hear us?
Yeah, I had my HDMI in there.
Oh, okay. So you hear everybody now.
Yeah, I hear
Wait, we
everybody.
can't hear you.
You can hear me
You don't
now?
hear him, Naughty?
Nah, I don't hear him.
I hear you, but Naughty don't hear you.
I'm gonna
All
drop
right,
off and come back on.
let me drop.
Naughty say you could drop off and come back.
What was the Black Mentos? How's he?
Nah, he should have stayed up. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Can you hear me, J-Dub?
Yeah, I hear you.
I hear you now.
All
Doris,
right.
say something. Say something, Doris.
Peace. You hear me?
Doris.
Peace. You can't hear me, Naughty?
Doris, you gotta drop down. Tell Doris to drop down and come back up. So you guys can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. I can hear you too.
Yeah. Y'all go ahead.
Again, I'm gonna go back again. Tainos and Arawaks are not originally to this land. That's why you can't ever hear me saying nothing about no Tainos or Arawaks. I'm not part of that tribal identity.
But
Part
what's
of
the
the
Carib
Carib,
then?
the
What's the Carib?
original
Yeah.
Mic
Suponis,
check.
the original um what
Yep,
you
I
would
can
call
hear you. Y'all hear Darvin?
no, what is
Yep.
it?
I hear.
Mic check, Naughty. You hear me?
Damn,
Oh, Naughty dropped off.
you dropped
He
off.
probably coming right back.
And this StreamYard is kind of suspect, man. All right, hold on.
I have to
Not
mute.
Yeah, mic check, mic check.
I hear you. You hear me, Naughty?
Yep,
Break.
yep, yep,
You hear Aton?
yep.
Yep. All right, cool.
All right. My bad. Go ahead back to the momentum.
Yes. How do you spell that? Mementos. Mementos. Naughty.
Blacamentos, Blacamentos, Uementos, I believe.
Uue.
Blanca is Blancamentos.
Mementos. Got it. Uh-oh. Did I disappear?
Nah, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
No, it was the time
Blanqueamiento in Spanish.
they came on this land and attacked all the people that was involved in head covering. We had head coverings by way of our testimony to do things on this land. The whole origin of covering your head is for God not to see your works or see your brain
Yeah.
or see your mind
The
thoughts.
whitening
Not to
problem.
tip the angels.
Not to tempt the
But God.
angels
Yeah.
and not allow God to see your dirty works. This was why the head covering coming in. Okay, so we was identified because we was tilling the land and doing stuff to the land that we didn't want accepted that thought process to be transcended to the Most High. We was given in respect. So when we go out and do certain things or use unnatural tools or start a fire with some man-made material, we will have our head covered. So it wouldn't, the smoke and the fire that went up into the heavens wouldn't be identified to you because it's a poisoning. Now, if it was a natural herbal smoke or natural leaves and things of this nature, cool. But you're throwing trash and all of this stuff in there and cutting down trees with axes and all of them things, that's going outside of the structure of nature, of your natural essence of being stewardess to the land. So we develop these certain cultures to protect us through our relationship with the Most High, or with the hand of Hansa. The
Yeah.
hand of Hansa. You got to understand that the hand of Hansa was created in this land, and it went towards Thailand and the Philippines and India, and started to become into separate identifications of godly worship, like
I got a
water,
question, man.
the cow, the bull. All these things was identified as a god, a sect of a god. But go ahead, ask the question.
All right, long time ago, it's been a while ago. I can't remember who it was, but somebody told me a long time ago, like back in the Bible, when they said Adam would covered himself. Somebody told me then they wasn't talking about their body; they was talking about their head. But I heard a long time ago. I just really just disregarded it. But when you start talking about that, it brought it back to my attention. You think that what the fuck they covered? Their heads?
Yes, the head. It was
Yeah,
the
okay,
head.
okay.
So God cannot see their thoughts. That's the whole reason I'm covering your head. Because now you're going into a sinful, you're thinking on this is a sinful thought, or this is against God, because now you're identifying things that you're doing outside of nature. And
That's
these are the
why he
things
asked
that
you
they
who
want
told you you
God.
was naked,
Yep.
and
They're
if
gonna
that's
take,
what.
yeah,
Okay, I got you. It's making sense now. I got you.
yeah, they give us the long version so we won't
And the
know.
milk.
Right. We don't know the truth. But it was all behind protecting your thoughts from God.
Protecting your thoughts from God would be just basically donning the physical body.
Protecting your thoughts from God would be not allowing God to see your sinful thoughts.
Well, having a subconscious where the God creator God wouldn't be able to see that it's only a primordial being will be able to see your.
This is how we got fucked
Hey,
up.
you went out, dog.
His mic fucked everybody up.
The mic's gone again.
It's
Yeah, you
back
back
now.
in now.
Try when you speak. Try not to put passion in it, because it sounds like as soon as you get passionate with your words, your mic shut. So just be calm and cool when you're speaking. Well, go ahead.
Piece wherever it landed, I don't. Said it got twisted up in the technology. So go ahead.
Okay, so let me pose it from this perspective, because I know I know what you're saying, but under the circumstances, I'm kind of like in the field, and I'm gonna say it different what Derek said. How did the United States of America have anything in their structure related to the Moors? What the Moors have to do with that?
The United States of America.
Well,
What you
I
mean?
mean, I'm asking.
They were
The whole,
Moors.
look. Even today, the Moors still stands in that government as a secret society, bro.
Okay.
The white Anglo Moors has came and created the United States of America by way of the Moorish um, 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 diplomacy. Your George Washington was a Moor. Your Frederick Douglass was a Moor. Your Benjamin Franklin was a Moor. All of these people was Moors, and they try to separate themselves from the blacker Moors or the black identifying Moors. Even the black Moors in the South was identified as Moors before they came identified Moors. And for them to get put onto that group, they had to go under who was it, Prince Hall? I think Prince Hall is the only ones that try to accept the black Moors in as the Moorish society.
All right, so I mean that sounds just.
It can sound fucked up, but it's the truth, bro.
The truth sound like that sometimes. Truth sound like that sometimes.
Well, yeah, it's a stretch.
This is on study. I'm telling you something I studied. This ain't someone pulling on my ass. The reason I can be so flow. Reason I can be so flow.
I don't turn nothing down but my collar. I don't turn nothing down but my collar.
The reason I can flow it so smoothly and easily because it's of facts of study. I'm not tripping. I don't have to. That ain't something I forgot. You got another. What's that book called? Darvish, the book that they put up under themselves to. Damn, what's the name of that book, bro? It's on the tip of my tongue.
What is it relating to?
The characterization of your order or the order of your characterization. It's a it was back they try to say it was the damn I just had it. They try to say it was in coming and deriving from Egyptian text. It's almost like the 48 laws of power, but it's called something else.
Oh, okay. So that's the come forth by day by night.
No, say it again, Darvis.
The Aquarian Gospel?
No.
Seven?
No, it's the book of
You're talking about the Book of the Dead, the book of
No.
come forth by day and by night?
Nah. It's a Moorish identity book. Damn, what's the name of this book? What's the name of this book? And I read the goddamn book. What is it?
Yeah, I know what you talking about, Darvish. Yeah, you talking about the Circle 7.
Circle 7. No.
That's what I said.
No, it's not the Circle 7. It's not the Circle 7. It's something else.
Not the Clock of Destiny.
Still some old science. All right, wait a minute. Let's hear this out. Go ahead. Go ahead, Nadi.
My mind's stuck on that damn book, but it's a secret society book. It's not just put out for everyone to grasp a hold of. I gotta remember the name. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I remember it'll come back to me. But the Moors was a big influence on the whole world because the Moors is what produced the light to the people. Different clans started to spontaneous and sporadically evolved in territories that the Moors was going in, like the Indian Moors or the Arab Moors. These are the different clans, but they're not the true Moor of the land that was identified as the the heir or the offsprings of the indigenous people of the Americas. Those are the real true Moors coming from this land, able to travel the sea. They know the sea, they know commerce. They went abroad and set up different empires and different things because the people around in the world was savages. There was meat hunters. There was hunter gatherers. They didn't have an identity of culture, bro. They was beastly and barbaric. But by the Moors teaching them order, they took on
Like
these
saying the
principalities.
boatsmen. That's like saying by the boatsmen teaching them order. The boatsmen. When you say more, you're talking about like a boatsman. Because you just described the Moors saying that those are the original American descendants or Aboriginal descendants of the Americas was by their profession.
Yeah, as travelers, sea travelers. That's what the more word was attached to our offsprings as
That's a
sea travelers.
profession. That's a profession that you now have turned into a race. I
That's
mean, is
a
it a race
no.
too?
That's a identity. That's an identity of a certain sect of people that's doing a certain event. The
Yeah, that's
people on
more.
Like Phoenicians.
the people on the land wasn't identified as more.
Not a
People of the
more, but you
land,
can have a brother. Listen, listen. A
listen. The
farmer
people
can
of the
have a
land
brother.
was identified as indigenous, but they had the more traits, the culture of the Moor. The Moor had the culture of the people of the land, and they went out abroad and tried to teach the culture to other people that they was in trade with.
Okay, I believe that. That could be a wonderful story. But what I'm saying is, just basic to me, a farmer could have a brother that's a Moor, and the farmer knows.
Yeah.
Man, goddamn. Man, fix your connection, man. You need to change your connection to a different
I don't
place in
know.
your house, whatever.
I don't know how to change it. What should I do?
Go on the
Move
settings.
move the location. Move the location because wherever you got it set up, it's not a proper location. It's not a good location.
Go on the settings and hit echo cancellation.
Settings. And okay.
Go to audio.
Audio, okay.
Hit echo cancellation.
Default. Echo cancel. It's already hit. That's checked. Reduce mic back.
Uncheck it. Uncheck it.
Oh, uncheck it. Uncheck now. Okay, what about now? Is that better?
I can hear you.
I can hear you, but you're low.
Turn up your mic. Pull your mic up volume.
The mic.
The mic volume.
All the way. Max. It's max.
All right.
All right, hold on. Let me get your mic.
Should I reduce mic background noise? Oh, you just hit echo cancellation.
I did.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear.
No, let's see if that'll work.
Is that better now?
Yeah,
Count to
I can
five
hear
and start getting loud as you start talking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Count to five and start off low with one, and then by the time you get to five, be loud.
All right, well, proceed, gentlemen, because I can't remember where I left off.
I want to try and tell you, trying to help you check the mic.
You said a brother of a farmer
Oh
would be
yeah,
identified as a Moor, but
okay.
the farmer wouldn't be.
Yeah, I'm just saying, yeah, they could be blood relatives. One knows the seas as a Moor, and the other just knows agricultural business, farming. So, but the other one's not technically a Moor, but he might know something of this brother's boatsman's trade. But I'm just saying, it sounds like we're turning the Moor into this through now. Maybe accountant or something knows all these different professions, but at the same time, it still seems like you're giving a whole lot of credence to or merit to the Moors.
Are you on your VPN? Are you on your VPN?
No, that's off. None of that's on. Damn, it's still cracking up.
Nah,
Yeah.
you're just being stopped at certain points in your conversation. So
it's like the gods don't want you to say that.
Something's happening.
Well, I'll yield and let me just listen. Maybe it'll come out anyway. Because I don't want to take up more time. Go ahead, y'all. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, nah, you good. I don't know. What is your Wi-Fi signal looking like? What is your Wi-Fi signal looking like?
My Wi-Fi signal, let's go and check it.
Yep. All right, old dude, man, be easy, bro.
Yeah, it says it's good. So I'll just fade to the back and
Nah, don't go no place. You can engage.
it just sounds like we're giving the Moors too much credit for something that's
Well, how would you not give them credit, but you giving credit to the United States when that's who founded the United States?
but that's when I was going into the Indian Confederacy. Like, okay, then you went back to saying, oh, those are descendants. Though there was these Moors that trained, but I don't understand that. How could those descendants be the ones that created that colonist type of, I guess, commerce and over here? But if the
You breaking up. So as you're breaking up, I'm coming in. So here it is. When you say in your Indian Confederacy, these are tribes developing governments to run territories of product, of produce, of commerce, so they can take it to their more brotherhood at the ports and send it abroad for trade.
got it, okay,
It
okay,
wasn't no we it wasn't no, the only trade bartering and trading we did here amongst each other was barter and trade. We didn't really need to because we had everything everyone else had.
yeah,
When you
yeah.
seeing yourself as under a tribe, this means now you're in a corporate state and going against another corporate state that's trying to hold a piece of property identified as their territory so they can commit their commerce how they need to commit their commerce.
So the Moor sounds like a banker today. That's the one with the power of with trade. It
The
sounds like
more
the
would have
Moor,
been like the United States in that day.
yeah. So that's
That's
like
who
the
that
bank, like that's the dude that could change whatever you had to money and
right,
exchange it with others.
right.
So if you didn't have that knowledge, then you know you just would be the agriculturalist that just grew the product.
Now check this out. When you come into the Moors community, which were the ports, when you come into the ports to do trade and bartering in those ports, you had to use that currency. So if you needed salt from the Himalayas and the Moors done brought back salt from the Himalayas, you wouldn't be trading no beaver pelt, beaver pelt. Your beaver pelt would be turned in for exchangeable fund. Now you would go over here with this exchangeable money or fund and purchase your Himalayan salt.
Like that would
And
be like a coupon. Got it. They trade the coupon that was created for you bringing your goods to the market.
yes, now when you see civilization, I mean um colonies, it's under that same format. Each colony had their own currency of trade within that colony.
That's what I mean by the Indians had a role in the co-creative role in the language. Just giving it to the Moors, like the Moors didn't make up the names for the agricultural products per
Yes, they
se.
did. Yes, they did. When you see the Massachusetts Indians, those are Moors. When you see the Ohioan Indians or the Ohioans, them are Moors.
Well, you would have Moors with the Mississippians because of the river, but they're way in the interior.
You know there was a castle at the top of that motherfucker?
I can believe it.
Huh. Let me ask you a question. The name Tupac, where did that come from?
That sounds like it's Eastern, maybe Massachusetts or that Mi'kmaq people of the Algonquin tribe, something like that.
There was an Inca king. His name was Tupac. Tupac Amaru. The term Amaru came from the serpent that the people in the land worship. They named that particular culture, named the land after that serpent, Amaru. And they call the land Amaru. the original name of America.
Yep. The Nagas, the dragon people, the serpent.
Amir is the son of a sultan.
That's one terminology. I've heard that.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to show you is prior to the United States and the European colonies, they was identifying the land as Amir or America from the Sultan. This again, when you see the United States come in, they held an allegiance with the Moorish Empire in Morocco.
Colonists?
That was ran by the not the Berbers, but the Ottomans.
Those people keep.
And the Ottomans had a handhold on many of the European lands, what you would see identify as Portugal, what you would identify as Spain or Brazil.
But you will get your other medicine that helps your nerves. Your fortune.
Hey, yo, mic check.
Yeah.
I hear you.
All right, so look, man, Mike's is messed up. I got kicked out. Everybody, hey, look, let's go ahead and cap it right there, and then let's bring it back. Let's bring it back tomorrow. You know, let's just go ahead and put a stamp on it right there.
True. Well, peace to the gods.
All right, y'all. Respect.
Bless up.
All day, Nutty. All right, so look, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? We're gonna close him out. Put these little songs on, and then we out of here, man. We out. Appreciate everybody coming up. Yep, on Monday we just do it basic like this. We just go ahead and try to keep it simple, and then we'll get more deep into it later. And yeah, that's what we're doing. All right, y'all. When this song is over, we done.
I'm the coach, quotes coded in oath with a ghost loaded focus. Chrome in the coat, king with the cloak, smoking that hocus pocus. Infinite styles, pivot and pile up the mileage. I'm wild with the science. You see the line on my avatar, iron draw pride. I to devour the silence. Why you niggas steady lying? Got me laughing hard, satire and fraud. I fire the squad. Wise get crossed when I'm sparring with all the guards. Author of art, carving a mark in the bark of the market at large. Target the sharks, heart of a Spartan. I sharpen the margin with bars. You rather bargain and dodge. I'd rather you come get your taxes done. Black suit back, room facts in a stack. I'm relaxing the maximum. Get out of the pocket, the profit of rocket. Then I just might tax you punks. Racket your funds, I'm stacking in chunks. Reacting to acid, you're begging a punch. Sometimes my community hard-headed, scarred, dreading the lessons. I chart head and start spreading the message, embedded in pressure. Sovereign living, I'm private with it. No corporate percentage. Discharging debt with a pen stroke. You still don't notice the vision. I've been telling y'all you don't want to debate me. Weighty and ready. Great with machetes, linguistically shredding the petty. Grab these 15 acres. Landscape major, plan made paper. Land patent stamped and sacred since my campaign greater. I ain't talking about Ice-T when I say that I can show you law and order. Court recorder, I sort the torture, contort the border. I eat the case, beat the state, leave a trace of the raw supporter. Briefcase aura, got your baby mama thinking that I'm a lawyer. Seminole Indian sentiment, militant on sovereign soil. Private enrollment, tribal component. I'm the boss, you trying to employ it.
Clutch, baby. Infinite.